Okay, so there we go. I did your plugs. You're on Twitter. You're on my Discord. Where do we start? Let's see. When I started.
So you want
So
to just start now?
yeah, why not just start? So hi guys, I'm Frisk. You already know that hero. Used to go
Mm-hmm.
by many names actually when I first started out. Went by Zero. I thought I was being cool or original or whatever. I don't know. It's kind of stupid though. But yeah, I don't go by that now. When we went in Smash 4, said, you know what, let me go ahead and change things up. Went by Arya for a tiny stint, and then I was like, you know what, let's just go Frisk. We'll just go with Frisk. So that's what we go nowadays by. Um, so back in the day, I used to play Sonic back in Brawl. That's when I started. Played Brawl the first time in '08. Played a little Melee before then, but never competitively. I didn't start competitive Smash until 2010, uh, around November-ish. So it was pretty late into Brawl's existence,
Mm-hmm.
competitively and non-competitively, that I really started taking things serious. Me and my buddy Drugs, some people in MDVA will call him J-Rugs. He's actually one of the better snakes that was around in Brawl, towards the end of Brawl's existence, as well as a super popular competitive game. Um,
But for clarification, it should be
yeah,
drugs,
it's
not J
it's
Rugs.
pronounced Drugs, but it's just funny because everybody likes to call him J Rugs, which he's just kind of like lukewarm about it. He doesn't care. He's like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I could tell you it's J Rug. I could tell you it's Rug. I don't really care. Like some people are like, dude, it's stupid. Just go with J Rugs. Yeah, whatever. The whole point is it's a meme name. Anyway, so I started out playing with him, and my buddy Cairo. Uh, and that was just like a few guys playing together for fun. There was a little bit of rivalry there, because when we first got together to play Smash, we didn't really get along like nearly as well as we do now, because there was some falling out stuff between high school and getting into Smash competitively. But ultimately, it didn't really end up mattering. Like we really pushed past it just because we wanted to enjoy the game and we enjoyed playing with each other. Eventually, me and Drugs would go on to become great friends and go to events traveling together. Cairo kind of stopped playing the game, but me and Drugs would go on
Mm-hmm.
to play a bunch, going to tournaments. Uh, been locals here in SA. We went to a bunch of events. We went to Austin, Dallas, Kingsville, Houston. We went to Louisiana like once or twice. But yeah, it was mostly traveling just in Texas though, and we had a lot of cool stuff. For results, like he would place like for the first like few years. I want to say in 2010 he had way better performance than me. I started out my first tournament, like I got like second to last, only being ahead of like two people who to this day, whenever they try to like enter a Smash tournament, they always get last. I don't know why those two in particular. I'm not gonna list their names. They would always get last, and those are the only two people I beat in tournament that day. And it was like a small round robin tournament because it wasn't supposed to be a tournament. It was Smash Fest. But Drugs did really
Yeah.
well because, well, I think at the time he was better than me, but it also did help that he was playing Snake. As many people know, is he's kind of a simplistic character in regards to his ground game, and even a little bit to his air game. He's got a lot of cool things he can do, and that'll be something to talk about when we get back to talking about Smash 4. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, him playing a character who could be played simple and also be quite effective was really helpful. And on my side of things, I'm playing mid-tier Sonic at the time, and Sonic is very much not simple and kind of like he's a scaling character, a character that the better you are, the better you're going to perform. And that's true of all characters, but even more so when you play a character like Sonic because he's so reliant on mind games. But enough of that. Okay, so let's talk results. So basically, at our peaks, both of us were getting like good solid wins on a few top players, or like we'll say like more like top 50 players. Beating
Names?
people like J Nig, Red Halberd, uh, he's beaten Apostle. I think he like played Reflex. Um, I mean, on Wi-Fi, there's a bunch of people I beat too because I did a ton of Wi-Fi back in the day. But in tournaments, I did take some matches off of Dante, Illmatic, SB, K Prime,
Yeah.
um,
Done the same thing as
Mega
us. So
Fox. I took one game. Drugs got to take a set, which was pretty crazy. Um, Razor, I think I took one game from him in Money Match, but basically, there's very few. I think there was maybe only one top player that I can think of. Give me a sec. We'll get back to that later. Anyway, it is very solemn that I took sets from any top player up until maybe 2013. And shoot. But anyway, uh, so result wise, though, the highest placings that I ended up getting was probably recently, somewhat recently, which was getting like ninth at CEO Dreamland. But up until then, it was like the only big good placings I would get would be like at a random local, or like just go to a regional, get top 10 in Houston, or getting like first at some random anime cons or something. So like decent player, would say top 100 overall, but not necessarily like, oh man, easily top 5 best players in the world. Probably one of the best Sonics, but not really like super esteemed. Holy crap, this guy's Mewtwo King level. On that
yeah.
note, I did take some games, so I can add that on my belt. But that's like friendlies and shit. We played in tournament at Dreamland and rocked my shit. So you know what? Back to the drawing board there. But so anyway, so went into Smash 4 though, and with Smash 4, I noticed immediately big change. Sonic no longer has aerial spin charge, shield canceling, which is pretty core pivotal mechanic for him in Brawl, and grounded spin shot is also I want to say it just entirely got removed. I'm pretty sure in vanilla it was a thing. Yeah, no, I think it was. Anyway, so it's been a while. Wow, I gotta like actually play the game again so I can make sure I'm giving out right facts. But yeah, so right off the bat, I noticed a lot of changes. So back air started lagging more. Then there was
Yeah.
trumping, there was rage, all these just different mechanics that threw me off right off the bat. And it was a fun game, but ultimately, I just didn't feel the same fire I did with Smash 4 that I did with Brawl. With Brawl, it was like, bam, it got in there. I felt super competitive. Like, always had that drive to get better and just play better. I didn't necessarily like blame the game. Um, like almost ever. It was never like, oh, this game's just broken, F this game or whatever. It was always, oh, you know what, I should have done this, I could have done this differently, and that would have led to a different result, etc., etc. I could always point out my own mistakes easily. But with Smash 4, maybe it had something to do with some kind of elitism. I don't know, but it wasn't the same experience. I'd play it and I could recognize mistakes I made, but I could also say like, okay, I got punished way harder for that mistake than I would have in like any other Smash game, just on the account of like this guy has rage, or he's playing like DK and can ding dong. There's a lot of things like that.
Why that name exist?
Yeah, that option is just so good. By the way, you when you can ding dong someone and they die at 60, wow. Oh boy, rage ding dong, great option. But yeah, there's just like loads of things like that though, to where you'd be consistently like winning neutral and you're like getting some solid punishes. But if you couldn't end the stock, they got rage, and when they got that rage, you were gonna get worked. Like you're
Hmm.
done. It wasn't so much about being able to consistently punish your opponent. It was more about when you punish your opponent. That's mostly it. It was when you capitalize on what you can do with your
Yeah.
rage decides whether or not you won games a lot of the time. And that was a concept that to brawl players like extremely off-putting, because you come from this game where positioning, like stage positioning, plays a huge momentum role. There's definitely a huge momentum in brawl. Like when you have a lead, you have so much more going for you. People are forced to approach you. which helps a
Mm-hmm.
character like Snake a ton. It helps Meta Knight some, and it played a big part in Sonic's game plan too. Because with Sonic, you're playing a bait and punish. Anyway, that's a whole different thing. But the gist of it is, it was a different thing entirely. Having a percentage lead was huge in Brawl. You have that in Smash 4, it's not quite the same thing, and it ultimately just comes down to there's better confirms in Smash 4 and there's more rage. And these are two things that Brawl just didn't really have in the same wave. Like, there was kill confirms sort of in Brawl with the top characters. Character like Sonic, not so much. You don't really have that option. But in Smash 4, for
Mm-hmm.
the first few months you did. Before back throw got nerfed, before, the forward air chaining stopped working. Now, like, at some point, I don't know if they did like a hit stun reduction, but definitely people definitely caught on to it, and you would get away with a lot less. That being said, his options were still quite solid for killing, even after a bunch of nerfs. They weren't like broken solid, but they were still solid, not too bad. You could definitely get some gimmicks off with Rage. Rage back through. Good times. But
Yeah, I'm trying to think back. I don't think there was ever any fair nerfs on
no,
Sonic.
not too crazy. Yeah, I don't think that there might not have been, honestly. If anything, there might have been like a hit lag change, but I'm pretty sure it was more likely that people just learned how to deal with it better. It's like
Mm-hmm.
holding their jump or DIing a certain way just to get out of it a little sooner. Um, but yeah, I believe at like lower percents you could do stuff with it. But in any case, people didn't fall for it quite as often. Then you kind of had to become a little more creative. So anyway, with that out of the way, with things going the way they did, I started feeling, I didn't really feel the game. This isn't my game. I shouldn't be playing this anymore. So for a while, I stopped playing it, stopped going to tournaments. Mind you, when I did go, it's not like I didn't do. It's not like I didn't perform well at all, but just didn't. It wasn't the same for me. Like the first event I
Mm-hmm.
went to, I will say I did terribly. Everybody that played 3DS did have a slight advantage, and just some people just they picked up the game and they did okay. They did pretty well for themselves. Like you did pretty well, and Incendiary probably was the biggest surprise right off the bat was that Incendiary. I never got to play him early on, like during the first year. I did, or like first few months. I didn't get to play him, but I do
Mm-hmm.
remember him making waves at the very first tournament we had in San Antonio at Ultra Arcade, and
Mm-hmm.
it was pretty interesting just seeing a new name just tear it up. And that tournament, I think I lost to a Mega Man, and I lost to a guy named Lamp who is a pretty solid melee player, and he was playing 3DS back in the day, and so he knew some Shulk combos.
3DS.
Yeah, 3DS Shulk. So he knew some combos, and I wasn't really sure when slash where I could DI, but I remember going Sonic during the first game, and he played Fox, and Fox to this day is still a really good character, and that matchup for Sonic isn't great either, but mainly just he played it better than I did. Maybe just barely, but he won the match, and I was like, you know what? He's playing Fox. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out my Marth here. Pull out my Marth, expecting I'm gonna edgeguard this Fox. Just play it really smart, get some good hits in, maybe get some good edgeguards. Um, didn't go that well. I lost the set. I got bodied pretty hard. Marth v Shulk. Sonic versus Fox was kind of close, down to the wire. He clutched it. He did get one rage kill in there. Um, Definitely was pretty rough tournament for me that day. And I took a short break between that and the next tournament, but then once I started playing tournaments for a little bit, like I said, then I really felt like, okay, this isn't my game. So what I did then is I went back to Brawl for a little while. I was like, I'm getting streaming, so I did get into streaming. I went, I was doing work and I started streaming at some point. Streamed the league for a little bit and decided, you know what, I want to play Brawl. So I went about like first like I couldn't find like someone to play Wi-Fi with or whatever. So I was like, No one really wanted to play offline. Everyone's like, yeah, let's, why don't you just play Smash 4? It's the new thing. We're all about
Yeah.
Smash 4, Smash 4, Smash 4. Yeah, let's just, Smash 4 is the shit. Let's play that. And actually, it was well before then that you and I met, by the way. Um,
Yeah.
it was like me and you played, and we played a bunch, and that was fun. And you helped me get to tournaments and stuff like that. It was really good, but I still didn't feel the way I did with Brawl. So that's
hmm
why I was like, and then there was the whole thing you moving to Georgia, well, for a bit.
For a bit.
Yeah. So anyway, got into Brawl streaming though. Shortly after playing League for a while and just not really feeling that. I was like, I'm gonna start streaming Brawl. Let me look up like people to play with offline, in person, on Wi-Fi, whatever I can. So I found out about NetPlay, and I'm like, whoa, this is kind of cool. But anyway, I didn't right away get into that. What instead I did is I made a Facebook group, and it's to this day it's still somewhat active. It's nowhere near as active as when I first made it, but called it the Revival of Fall Brawl Facebook group. And this was before Revival of Brawl tournament got announced. I think no. Was it? I think it was, but it would. I don't know. That my memory's a little fuzzy on that one. It was either before or after, but I mean that's pretty obvious. So made the Revival Brawl Facebook group, and it was just oh yeah, it was definitely before. Okay, so it was just the idea was just get everybody who still wants to see Brawl played and play Brawl, get them all together in one place. So that way we can talk about it. We make stuff happen instead of it just being like everyone being kind of in this boat where it's like, man, I kind of want to play Brawl, but I don't know anyone else that plays or wants to play or wants to see it played or whatever. So let's try to get everybody together in one place. That way we can start planning things together, Like, okay, you get three people in the group who are all from the same city or the same state, then bam, that's one way for them to know each other and go, yeah, dude, I'm down, let's play. Even if it wasn't like, helping to set up nationals or something, at the very least, it might help with locals. And so we made that
hmm
group, and I think we ended up with like 200 plus members or something for a bit. I think right now it's sitting at around no, it was at a 150 for a bit, and now it's at like 185. Anyway, so we used to post regularly there. Recently there's been nearly as many posts, but whenever people post, it's usually stuff about most upcoming events, something like Gomel, Super Smash Con, Return to Subspace. But for a while, I was also posting there that I was streaming because I got into streaming it. So when I found out about NetPlay, I said, you know what? Let's see. NetPlay's a thing. Let me try to see if I can just stream Brawl like every day. I'll just do NetPlay. So I did that for a while, and I actually grew my stream a lot doing that, but only in terms of like followers. Viewership did increase a little bit, but it wasn't anything crazy. Um, but people loved it though. People liked being able to pop in and now see Brawl. They're like, wow, this is cool. This guy's, really, really good with Sonic. Probably the best Sonic a lot of people have ever played. Um, and even like seen played, some people would at the time were like, wow, this guy's crazy good. And I mean, that's like putting if you were to have like Meek or SB play online because both of them were also top-notch players, and put them online, and people are gonna be interested at least because it's a very high-level player playing the game again. It's like what? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like if you ever look on Twitch streams, usually if you see a Brawl stream, it's someone streaming Project M or Subspace
hmm
Emissary or some kind of casual gameplay. So to see it, like not necessarily a fresh face, but maybe someone you're unfamiliar with, happen to be really good at the game and still playing it like on a daily basis was kind of something crazy. So that was
And
interesting for a while.
competitively.
Yeah, and competitively, like still playing on NetPlay and like grinding it out as often as I could. Got to play with a bunch of people from like here in the U.S. and outside of the U.S. Played with Sijon, Kaios, Xenon later on, Guts, Exists. I think I played with Four Sword like once, but it was like really laggy. But for the most part, it was pretty cool because NetPlay just like gave me this tool to connect with other Brawl players who would play online, and it wasn't nearly as laggy as Wi-Fi, so it was kind of cool. But yeah, we ended up having NetPlay tournaments, and that actually got a lot of viewership for a little bit. But then there was a problem that we ran into, which was that a lot of players were really bad at keeping the schedule. So we would end up having tournaments take longer than they were supposed to, or they would just start late, or straight up we would just have short, smaller numbers than we were supposed to. And it ultimately was just really bad for, streaming. It's like, oh man, you should be able to like keep this going. And that, that would have been really good for Brawl's net play online growing because more exposure, more people getting exposed to it means more people wanting to try it out. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that was interesting. It was fun, and eventually I did say, you know what, we're gonna say bye to that for a little while. I still play it every now and then. It's really fun. It's not like I'm ever gonna stop doing net play. I just do it less than I did. But went back to playing Smash 4 a bit every now and then as well, but nothing serious. And pretty much haven't been too serious in general with Smash since then. Closest thing to serious is with Brawl. But then we got, bam, new information. Sneak peek. Smash 5 trailer. Here's new characters. The game is, you see that Inkling trailer? You're like, whoa, new game. This is gonna be interesting. I wasn't crazy hype at the beginning, to be honest with you. I really wasn't. I was kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people were going crazy over it. They're like, dude, what do you think? Oh my god, E3, Smash 5. I'm like, dude, I don't care. I'm speedrunning now. I don't give a crap about Smash, dude. And they're like, no, dude, this is gonna be so great, trust me. Yeah, okay. So I see the trailer with new characters. Like, okay. I got to see Snake though, and I was like, okay, wait a minute. This is whew, that's quite a character to be putting on the table, man. So that was kind of cool, and we're gonna get into that. That invitational was pretty cool. I was pretty happy seeing it. I'll say that. Sneak peek was definitely interesting. But there's a lot of changes that I kind of noticed. I'm sure you noticed. Like a lot of people definitely made mention of it. Just stuff like
Mm-hmm.
obviously the roster, right? So we got Snake, Ice Climbers coming back, Pichu, obviously Roy and Mewtwo from Smash 4 and Melee. They're back again. Inkling. You got all these new characters, but the weird thing is like they're here, and it's this weird feeling, especially for Snake and ICs, where they weren't in Smash 4. I really wasn't expecting them to come back, but I was pretty hyped to hear about it because like looking forward to Smash 5. I wasn't thinking like if the new game comes out, I couldn't really like say there was really a thing that I would have been super keen on that would have instantly gotten me hyped, like Snake being in. See, now with Snake being in it, it's like there's just nostalgia factor, but also this difference of playstyle that he has that not many other characters have. And one thing I was definitely kind of interested in was, were Ice Climbers going to be chain grabs? Like, are they going to be chain grabs the game? Because in Melee, you played them, they had wobble, they had a lot of mobility.
Yeah,
And
probably not.
obviously, if you couldn't hit the wobble, then you weren't gonna get it, right? They they were in a good character unless you could wobble basically in Melee. In Brawl, it was pretty much the same story. If you couldn't hit their chain grabs, they weren't that great. They had some cool desync stuff. It was pretty nice. Certainly interesting, but what really made the character was just the fact they could 0 to death you. Um, and I don't think they're gonna have chain grabs back, honestly. I really don't. By the trailer, it looked like when one of them got a grab, Nana like automatically taunted. So I kind of doubt it. Maybe, but I kind of doubt it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's talk about Rage though.
No, we'll get that in a second. because I haven't talked about me yet.
Oh, I'm
So,
sorry.
so my name is Hero Mystic, and I'm not sure if you actually played the game super casually, Arya or Frisk.
Yeah.
Uh, but for me, I my starting background was actually super casual. Like I first started with Smash 64, and 64 didn't really have a competitive scene because we didn't have the internet as booming as it was back then. So 64 was basically all just, um, play with friends. Basically, how Nintendo pretty much intended to be, to just be like a party game where people just use their favorite characters.
Mm.
Um, I remember when I first saw the commercial for Smash 64. Do you remember seeing that?
I
The
I I
64?
don't think I did. If I did, it was like the
Okay.
vaguest thing ever.
Okay, so basically it was literally four people in costumes. It was like a Mario costume, live action, Mario costume, Donkey Kong costume. I believe it was a Pikachu costume
Hmm.
and a Yoshi costume, and they were just frolicking in the forest, like literally just frolicking. And
Wow.
then I believe it was just I believe it was Mario bumping into Donkey Kong while they were frolicking. And then they got mad at each other, started beating the shit out of each other. They started
Wow.
punching and kicking each other. Then Yoshi's like, "Hey, I'm gonna get on this," and just started punching each other. Was it Luigi too? I don't think it was Luigi, but and then Pikachu started beating up each other too, and it was like Smash Brothers, and they showed all the gameplay and stuff. And then while the gameplay was being shown, it go back to live action where you just see Donkey Kong picking up Mario and throwing him somewhere. It was pretty funny. I was like, wow, this is actually. I guess right now I'm thinking like, wow, this commercial's dumb, but it was pretty funny. But for me back then, it was like this is like the coolest shit ever. Like this is amazing. I needed to play this a lot. So my parents were actually pretty uptight with buying new games. So when I so Blockbuster was still a thing back then. So I went to Blockbuster, and you can only have the game for like a week more or less. So basically, my game plan was to rent it every week. So I went to Blockbuster, rent the game, and then was time to bring it back. I'll just rent it again. Then I just rent it over and over again. Then eventually got to the point where I ran it so much that they might as well should have bought the game for me.
Yeah.
So they were. The funny part is that I never actually bought the game. Like I just had the game for that long, and then
Yikes.
so I did like unlock all the characters. I didn't know how to unlock Luigi, and Luigi was like the one I wanted the most. So I ended up like trying out all these theories to the point where I even did very hard mode as Mario with one stock.
Wow.
Now you know why I'm a Mario main. So
Crazy.
so I ended up doing that, and of course Luigi didn't pop up. In fact, the way how you unlock Luigi is to beat all break the targets with all the characters, and that's how you did it. So that was pretty funny.
Uh,
Uh,
wow.
See, I never thought of that, but that was pretty cool. Then so Smash 4 was basically me being casual, but I was really really good for a casual player, but I couldn't really test that because basically the only person I had to play with was my dad, and my dad played Donkey Kong, and he was he's good on the virtue that he's just a smart person, but of course he didn't practice the game or played it a lot, but we still went pretty back and forth because I was still a kid, so I didn't do too much. But when Melee came out, um, things became a lot different because the internet was starting to boom by that point. Like it wasn't immediately when Melee came out. It was like a year after Melee came out when we started seeing all the ATs and the mystical wave dashing. And everyone's like, "Oh my god, Melee is like super technical and stuff." So and YouTube starting to be like YouTube just started, but the Melee stuff started to really pick up on YouTube. So a lot of people started to learn a lot more. Me, I was very unaware for a long time. Um, I was still the casual guy that ends up being like the best out of everyone's couch crew. I had like four friends back then that played Smash as well. Uh, we do like one-on-ones with items, one-on-ones without items, free for all with items, and I will always be very, very try hard with my Mario. And yeah, I ended up getting up on top a lot. There was one tournament that came out, um, and it was like a tournament at an anime place. It was like at some strip mall,
Hmm.
and I went to that one, and turns out that they didn't have enough people to
Oh,
do the tournament,
like
so they ended up just showing off the Naruto game, Naruto Classic Ninjas, the very first one
wow,
for GameCube. I was like, this is garbage. I'm gonna get out of here.
that's rough.
Yeah, that would have been my first tournament. And the funny part was that my dad was supporting me for me through that. He was like, "You ready for this?" Like, yeah, I'm ready. Like he was playing like some Rocky music while he was driving the car. He's like,
Really trying to pump you up, get you in the zone.
yeah, yeah. So it was pretty fun, but so I never actually got into melee tournaments. I was still kind of casual, but at the same time, um, since YouTube was a thing now, I started to learn more AT. So I learned wave dashing, I learned L canceling, um, a bunch of other stuff
Honestly, you probably
that
learned
the
that
names
stuff
that I
way
can't.
earlier than I did.
Yeah, it was pretty great. But I never went to tournaments though because the tournament scene. Actually, there probably was a tournament scene in Fayetteville, North Carolina. There probably was, but I didn't know where to look. I didn't
Yeah,
discover Smashboards until
that
Brawl.
that's pretty much the story
And
of a lot of people who were interested in melee casually, for sure. I was definitely in that party.
yeah, so I went. So Brawl came out, and I said, "Okay, Brawl. This is the game where I am going to jump right into competitive play." That's when I first thought when I got Brawl in my hands. It was like I'm going to jump into this one because I missed out on all of Melee. So that's when I discovered Smashboards. Um, and that's when I started to really get into online play. It was so sad that Brawl Wi-Fi was so awful,
It was quite
but
bad.
yeah, but I ended up doing I say for the time like when first I started, like it was a completely new game. Um, it was pretty much nothing like Melee, so almost everyone was on the same footing unless you're like really experienced and you just knew how to play a fighting
Oh
game.
yeah, absolutely.
Um,
It's not,
those were typically ones on top.
yeah,
Yeah,
nothing like how like people went from Brawl to Smash 4, where there was that
yeah.
similarity kind of thing. Nothing the same. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's like no similarities between besides characters and stuff, but like so many things have changed. And I went to Smash Bros. And they were talking about, oh man, like we skipped out on Brawl for this, like like everyone's getting was getting all mad and stuff. Um, but I stuck with the game. I ended up being pretty big on the Mario boards. Like a lot of my stuff was online. I did go to tournaments. I did pretty rough on all of them. Um, so I was much more of a Wi-Fi warrior. With like, there was actually two reasons why I probably did bad. One is that I was bad in general. Like I was like compare me to then to now. Like I looked at gameplay that from where I was back in 2000 and I say 2007, 2008. I look at it now, I was like, oh my god, I don't want to look at this crap. Like, look at me being a scrub. And
It's old.
the other reason is just that I was playing Mario, and Mario, he's pretty decent in Brawl, but his matchups are
Yeah,
he's not tournament
he's got
viable.
some
Is
pretty bad matchups. Yeah, definitely.
yeah, I wouldn't call him tournament viable but especially in a Meta Knight free tournament
Oh yeah,
area,
no, I
which
mean maybe he's viable with a pocket. You got something, up your sleeve.
yeah,
A little pocket Meta Knight, pocket Marth, pocket Snake, maybe, but by
I had
himself,
a
no,
pocket
no,
icon.
no. Yeah, pocket Ike. I mean, maybe it could have worked, but you would have had to really work on it a lot. Anyway,
Yeah, and my worst matchups were like Diddy Kong. Diddy Kong versus Mario is actually pretty decent. Mario has a
yeah,
pretty good shot at fighting Diddy, but
Duty actually.
yeah, but there was like I was in college at this point, so there's like this really good Diddy player who was able to like double banana all day, every day. He just kept bananas all day, and that was my first time experimenting, first time playing against a really good Diddy. So I kept getting body for like weeks on end against them until I finally learned how to fight him, and that agreed me a lot. And I had three other roommates, not roommates, but friends at college. One was a Marth main, which is why I got really good against Marth with my Mario. Other one kind of jumped around a lot. He was either a Rob or a Meta Knight. He did Ice Climber for a while too, so that's how I got really good at fighting Ice Climber as Mario.
He was the sellout friend.
He was the
He's the guy that's just selling out. It's like, you know what? No, Meta Knight's the best. I'm picking him. No, wait, chain grabs though.
And then the last one, he jumped between either Falco or Lucario. He was pretty campy though, so he always went with Lucario, even though you're not supposed to really camp with Lucario.
Like
not really.
Yeah,
he just Aura Speared a lot. Like, he got close, you go Force Smash, Force Smash.
That's definitely a very strange playstyle to go with that character.
Yeah, I was definitely better than him, but he wasn't bad. He eventually started to do pretty well when we started playing Falco, but he had a thing for his campy Lucario too.
Yeah, it just.
But whenever he played Falco, he was pretty good. So I went to a bunch of tournaments when I was in Brawl. When I was playing Brawl, I went to a major actually where Ally, M2K, and I remember actually fighting in pools against MVD, and yeah, that didn't go too well. I'm not gonna lie.
That's the other names that I forgot to mention. I get to play with. Yeah, exactly those three names: Ally, MVD, King. That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and the one thing that I learned about tournaments is that on that major, is that man, a lot of people play Snake.
Oh yeah.
Like
that was probably around what, 08 or 09?
I want to say 2008. Yeah, 2008.
Like I want to say it was like 08 to 09 was definitely like the Snake times.
The year of Snake.
Yeah, that was like the Snake times right there. Like middle of 08 till like middle of 2009 was like a year of Snake.
Yeah, and
just because one man, just Ally, dude.
Yeah, Ally really popularized them, but there was like my poll was funny. It was like Snake, Mario, Snake. I was like, okay, I'm like this oddball guy, but I didn't do horribly. Of course, I had to make it out of polls because the guys were just like way better than me, like extremely better than me. But I didn't do too bad.
That would have been that would have been the godsend pool for me. Just being a Snake specialist, like specializing against Snake because of drugs meaning it. That would have been like, oh, free bracket, easy.
Free bracket.
But I mean, okay, carry on.
It was pretty good. But I think after that point, I wanted to do a lot more tournaments, but the thing is that they're at people's houses. And my mom was like, "Nah,
yeah,
you're not going to people's houses."
Yeah, a lot of people's parents were like that for sure when they were teens.
Yeah, so I ended up not being able to do any local stuff because they're at people's houses back then.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, not really. They start because Smash is so big now that stores are starting to be a lot more open to just tournaments. But back then, it was still people's houses, and mom's like, "No, you're not going to a stranger's house." Like, okay, so at that point, I couldn't really. I was still pretty much just Wi-Fi warring, and also put in a lot more labbing. Now that I was so much, I was so involved, but I want to be even more involved. So I ended up doing like a lot of Mario board stuff, like as much information as I could, finding out a lot of videos, posting them, making a video thread, making a tier list thread, not tier list thread, but a matchup thread, and I pretty much overlooked all of those. And then I went to Texas at that point, and that's when I was kind of old enough to do my own thing. So that's when I started to really get into tournaments. But at that point, Brawl was pretty much on the decline at that point. And then Smash 4 was announced when like Brawl was like, oh, you're not gonna see much Brawl nowadays. So I had to wait until Smash 4 to start to really get into the local scene, and that's when you start to really. That's when I really started to boom though, because um, I was still thinking quite casually back then, even though I was a tournament goer, because I saw the trailer for Rosalina. I was like, I'm not gonna play Mario anymore. I'm gonna do Rosalina.
Yeah.
So Rosalina was my main during the 3DS era.
Okay.
When I played on 3DS, and I did a lot of Wi-Fi on that. But slowly but surely, I was slowly going back to Mario. Not because of really his playstyle, but because I've been a Mario main for so long. Because like, I gotta play Mario.
Yeah.
So
It feels more.
it also
You
helped.
feel more at home, kind of thing.
Yeah, it also helped that Mario is actually really good
Yeah.
in Smash 4.
Super good. Yeah. Really huge step up from his Brawl counterpart.
Yeah, and a lot of people didn't believe it because it was just a big history of Mario either being mediocre or bad.
Yeah.
Like, well, in Smash 4, Mario's actually pretty good. He's one of the top ones, but he wasn't nearly as good as Pikachu.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
that's what
it was like a case of course, like you can't be too bad because you have a small roster, so it's easier to balance it
Yeah,
out. Thing.
yeah, exactly.
That
And then
that's gonna be
in
a
Melee,
thing to be concerned about for Smash 5. But carry on.
then in Melee he was mid tier. In Brawl I think he's still low tier, but I think a lot of people just consider him mid tier because he's actually had some pretty decent matchups. Like the only thing holding back is literally the top tiers.
Yeah, that's literally just Meta Knight and like Marth.
Yeah.
DDD, really.
Yeah, and then so for Smash 4, like people didn't really believe that Mario is actually good. So it took like a long time for Mario to actually get out of the stigma of being bad.
Yeah.
It's like a whole year, I think, because the only person that really put eyes on him was actually when Ally picked him up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as soon as Ally picked him up, it was like, oh, Mario's good. Yeah. Like, I've been fucking telling you this the entire time.
Yeah. Oh, he had that stigma. Everyone wanted to believe that no, Mario's not good. I remember in 3DS days, I remember some casual like telling me Mario was good. And even I brushed it off. It was like me and KJ we were at UTSA doing some Brawl friendlies. I would go by like every Thursday and we'd just like play Brawl with KJ because KJ was all about the Brawl life. He's a fiend. And he was like, yeah, bring Brawl by. So I would bring it by and we would play. And there was this guy who would play, and then like after a few times we bought him, he started bringing his 3DS. And he would just watch us play, but he'd be playing Smash 4 on 3DS. And he's like, by the way, Mario's amazing. I'm like, no way. Mario sucks, dude. But I didn't like tell him that to his face, but I wanted to say like, dude, Mario sucks. You're casual.
You just shook his head like you shook your head like.
I just shake.
Nah,
yeah, exactly. Just like shake my head, just like nah, dude, no way. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think like the tournament that actually, I don't know the tournament, but it was him. It was Ally against I want to say it was in Canada, so I want to say it was. Oh man, I forgot his name. Angelfish, I think it was. He was playing Diddy because Diddy was still top, like City was still broken.
Yeah.
During the time, but he played as Mario and he just curb stomped him with Mario. Like everyone was amazed. Like,
wait. Okay,
wow,
Mario's what name? I kind of zoned out for a sec.
Angelfish, I think it was.
Fish. Okay.
Yeah, and he just it was a massacre, man. It was really bad. Like, so people started looking more at Mario. So eventually, a lot of Mario mains actually started to get serious. Like, oh, allies are just really making waves. Let me get serious now.
Yeah.
So you had people like what was his name? Oh, there was like a lot of Mario mains though. Niani made a little bit of waves for a little bit during the early days of Smash 4. And there was just a bunch of more Mario mains. Yeah. Me in particular, I started. Yeah, Zero Zen definitely too. In fact, I'll say Zero Zen was actually probably a little bit better than Ally, but he but he didn't have like the player experience
Yeah.
that Ally did, which
Ally
was just
was
his problem.
super used to the top echelon of play from Brawl, so he already had that like champions mindset kind of thing going on.
Hmm. Yeah, and for me in particular, um, I made small waves, not huge waves. Uh, I got I was top 11. I never really quite made top 10, but I made top 11 in Power against San Antonio. Um,
Yeah, you made
and he's
you made the HM as HM.
yeah. And I ended up playing against Karna and Trella and all of them. And apparently in Houston they don't have a Mario main, so I kind of just walked in there and beat their asses for a little bit, and they're like, "Oh, this is Mario."
Yeah, they didn't have a Mario main yet until MH Bone.
Yeah, and Karna in particular, like people were like, "Oh man, Karna's like the best Sheik in Houston," and I just beat his ass, and like it was like a 3 stock each time,
Yeah.
and he's like, and like people were like, "Man, you beat the best Sheik in Houston." I was like, "He's the best Sheik. He wasn't good."
Yeah, now he's leveled up a ton since then too.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah, and Trella, this was when DLC was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just started becoming a thing. So he was playing Mewtwo,
Yep.
and he did this one silly thing that was actually really effective against the lower ranking players. But basically, he would put him into a frame trap where he had this charge spear.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what it's called exactly.
Yeah, well,
but it was a
it's
charge
the
spear.
ball, the neutral B. Let's go with that. His shadow
Yeah,
ball.
and then shadow ball, I think, and he would throw the opponent off stage, and then he would throw the shadow ball, and then they would air dodge, and then he would just fair them because Mewtwo's fair is godlike.
Yeah.
Um, and I kept seeing that over and over in tournament, and no one would adapt. So like, you know what? I am just going to actually not get hit by that.
Yeah.
So I ended up like, so he did the strat on me, and of course I don't believe I actually caped the ball back in. I just jumped over it, and then I air dodged the fair, and then get back on stage, and then I'll just proceed to up smash to kill him. And then whenever I up smash, Charles like, oh.
He felt the pain. This is Mario.
Yeah, he felt the pain.
The power of Mario. That was one of those Hajime no Ippo Sendo smash moments. He's just like stretching out there and going for it. Sumashu! Yeah, that's Mario's up smash.
Yeah, and he was like, oh my god, like, Mario's strong.
Yeah, Mario's. Whew.
Unfortunately, I didn't take the set off of him because he adapted, but he was like, but he started talking to me at that point. He's like, man, your Mario's really good. He started talking to me a lot at that point. But at that point, do you remember J-Band?
Yeah, I remember J-Band.
Yeah, J-Band J-Band came to San Antonio, and he became like the massive wave that was just like, he's really good. He had a really good Luigi and Diddy.
Yeah.
He pretty much rivaled Mega Fox, which is saying something, a lot of something.
Yeah, Mega Fox is quite an amazing player in 4. He was pretty good in Brawl, like really good, honestly, but he would always struggle with the top players back in Brawl, but in Smash 4, it's like completely different story.
Yeah, and then what ended up happening was that I ended up playing him a lot, and yeah, I leveled up a lot, but I never won it. Well, I won one game against him.
Yeah, I remember that one.
I was never able to actually
take a set.
Get it, take a set because he eventually moved to Germany, I believe, because of military stuff. But what actually ended up making me quit Smash 4 was just the fact that I felt like I wasn't getting any better, and it was getting me so frustrated that I was actually starting to like get overly salty against games that even games that I won, because I knew like I just felt it in my bones that I could have won even harder than that if it wasn't such like a fucking 80 or something like that.
Yeah.
But and it started to like affect my enjoyment of the game. And how like it's a chain reaction. If you make if you're mad, then everyone else gets mad.
Yeah.
I kind of did the one to like do
You didn't
that.
need that kind of
Um,
situation, yeah. It'd be
yeah, so
frustrating.
I ended up just backing off from Smash 4. Like I said, like I was gonna take a break, but the break ended up being a super hiatus.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, I just pretty much just stopped playing Smash 4 completely. Um, and then you end up getting me into Brawl again. So that's basically the game that I'm playing right now
Yep.
until Smash Ultimate comes out.
I just
Speaking of Smash Ultimate,
actually don't think it'd be a bad idea. Like us continuing our practice just for in preparation. Just because I know like the different mechanics that we have for Smash 4, like just off the bat, just fly tossing. That's not even that's non-existent in Smash 4.
yeah, it doesn't exist in Smash 4. And the funny part was that I was kind of like you actually. Like I didn't even see the first trailer with Inkling. Like I didn't even care that it was there, and people were like, "Oh, guys, look, Smash 5 is coming out." I was like, I don't give a shit.
Yes, I don't care, dude.
And then what ended up changing my tune was actually what happened last week, where uh the new trailer came out and they started to discuss all of the new stuff. It's like, okay, I'm getting a little hype now. And then the Invitational came out. I was like, oh my god, I need this game
Yeah.
now. This is basically
That's
what I
basically how it
thought.
went for me, man. Like, holy shit. Like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
so I'm actually pretty excited for Smash Ultimate. It's probably like the only real game I'm hyped for this year. The rest is all kind of noise right now.
Hmm.
Just Smash Ultimate. Waiting for that to come out. Six months.
6 months, it's
Gotta
not
wait for
too
six.
bad, but I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
still a wait. But
Yes, it's
it
still a wait.
wasn't as bad as the wait that a lot of people experienced waiting for Smash 4
Yeah,
when they announced it in 2013 or so, something like that, from Brawl to Smash 4. Like that wait was
I
probably a
think the
bit worse, if I remember.
I think that the brawl rate was even worse in Smash 4 because they also had like the daily updates on their
Oh
website.
yeah, yeah.
That really produced a crap ton of hype.
Hmm. People were so ready for Smash 4 when it came out. Uh, but yeah, just like man, that invitational, oof, that was something. It was pretty cool. I got to see a lot of stuff that I was like, this is amazing. Like for one, the most amazing part of it for me, outside of seeing like Snake in the game, was just the rage rework. Dude, it's so cool. Like I was so happy to hear about it. Just like seeing it,
Yeah.
I remember watching the Invitational, like thoroughly watching these matches, trying my best to see like, okay, wait, okay, so you got this directional air dodge thing. Okay, that's kind of cool. It's
Hmm.
not necessarily needed, but it makes it a little bit more, adds another layer of depth, possibly. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Can't complain. But ultimately, I'm kind of like, it doesn't matter too much, but cool. But yeah, seeing the rage rework though, that really like, I was like, bam, I'm in. That plugged me in. That was like, dude, someone didn't die at 60 to ding dong. The earliest I saw someone die was MK Leo, I think, getting bouncing fished
Yeah.
by
That was like
yeah.
by zero, but that was like
He was at like
wasn't he at
he's like
like
at 110 and he was at the top right corner of the screen. So it's like it's like the equivalent of getting Marth Tipper back here in Brawl when you're at the top right corner of the screen as a heavyweight. You're
yeah
probably gonna die there anyway.
yeah he was like off stage and stuff,
Yeah, so
so
it's like
that
that
wasn't really
wasn't too
rage.
crazy. I wasn't like, oh my god,
Yeah.
that's so early. The only reason why it even made a note in my head is just because that's Snake. And if you've played Brawl, and I know you have for sure. We played some. Me and you got to play
Hmm.
some Mario Snake and some Ike Snake, and you know how heavy that character, how long that character can survive. He's playing the I will survive in his head every day because he's living till 200. But him dying at 110, I was like, okay, the rage is still kind of here. But to be fair, he was in an awful position. So it clearly isn't nearly as prevalent, like as important as it was in Smash 4. And on top of that, I got to see loads of people killing at like 120 without rage. So
Yeah,
that was probably the most important thing that got me plugged back in, because the fact that you can kill someone before they have rage, or rather when they have, like, as soon as they get rage, that's a big deal. In Smash 4, there was so many times where you would play a set with someone and you'd be outplaying them for a majority of it, but you don't have rage, so you can't kill them. But then they kill you at 70 because they do have rage. You know,
yeah, a ton of
yeah,
rage
it's like,
at that
yeah,
point.
they're like at 150 or 160. They're capped.
It's especially if you're a heavy. But I think like rage like the main reason why heavies were actually pretty good in my
Yeah,
opinion
yeah.
in Smash Four.
Heavies pretty much like rage was the big deal for Bowser and DK for sure. And actually, the fact that they still have it in is still going to be helpful for them. It's not like rage is gone. It's just not
Yeah,
nearly as insane as it was in 4, which I think is pretty cool, because you know what? Now it's still helping heavies, which was probably one of the bigger benefits, was just the fact that it helped out heavyweights. Characters like Bowser and DK, they didn't really see much of the light of day in Brawl. A little bit from like DK Will, when you would see him beat some like high level and top level players occasionally, but
yeah.
I
As
mean,
a diehard DK fan though,
yeah,
diehard.
yeah. As a
Hmm.
basically a one trick DK, only plays DK and knows every matchup ins and outs, and yeah, he can make it happen. But it's not. It wasn't to the point where it is like today. Today, you see a top DK player. Who's the one that they had from Japan that ended up playing against? I think it was like Mr. R versus some. Oh shit, I can't remember his name. It's
Abadango?
no, it was
Or are you
start
talking
with an
someone else?
H. Can't remember his name though. But anyway,
Yeah, I
it
don't remember
was
his
one
name
of the
either.
better DKs. It was Civil War when this happened, but I remember seeing him play that set, and that set was one of the bigger upsets in that tournament. It was pretty crazy, and it's like you see stuff like that happen though, where you just see someone die at like 60 to DK, and it's like, oh, that can happen now because he's heavy enough to abuse rage, and that's really nice for heavy, because, like I said, they struggled a lot in Brawl and in Melee. So I think Rage is still not too bad of a mechanic to have in the game, just for the sake of making the
Making
heavier,
heavies
yeah,
viable.
making
Yeah,
the heavies a little more viable. Um, that being said, there's one heavy that having Rage on is somewhat concerning, which is Snake. Now,
yeah. I figured it'd be Snake.
yeah, in Brawl, Snake already could kill people at like 110. You played Mario, you know what that matchup was like. So, a lot of
Yeah.
people would say that
Hmm.
was 7-3. I, to this day, still think it's like 6-4, 65-35 maybe, but I don't think it's too bad for Mario. I think you can juggle him and edgeguard him pretty well. But that being said, he does have some really good tools, particularly jab, forward tilt, up tilt, and like retreated neutral air. Those are amazing options. And the thing is, when you get
Hmm.
hit by an up tilt from Snake and you're at 116, it doesn't matter how good your DI is if you're middleweight or lower. You're going to die. If
Hmm.
that's unless it's still you're dead. That's really early. That's before Rage takes effect in Smash 4 or in Smash 5. So that means if his kill power is like anything to go by from Brawl, if it's similar enough, he'll be able to kill people before they have rage. And because he's a heavy, he will have rage, which means it's pretty likely that he'll be able to up tilt someone at like 90 and they die and never get the chance to abuse rage. So I'm definitely,
Yeah, we saw a little bit of that against Sheik, where he still lives
yeah,
forever,
he
more or less.
still lives quite a while. I think I saw one of his stocks go all the way to like 170 or 180. So he can still,
Hmm.
he can still live to win. Um, but yeah, that's one thing that I'm concerned about. But other than that, I don't think there's too many like characters that I feel like could really abuse it to the fullest. I don't think it's too crazy. Um,
Yeah, it's really just gonna be the heavies. I don't really think anyone else, unless they play really well and like the opponent just can't kill him. Like he just doing like these little jabs
Yeah.
most of the time.
Yeah, they'll usually just tickle 'em, basically.
Yeah, rage shouldn't really be a factor for most
Yeah,
characters.
not too bad. Um, so let's see. So the other mechanic that was kind of interesting to me is there's more damage in 1v1s now than free for alls and doubles. So how did you feel about that one? I felt like that it didn't look like they really increased the damage too much, maybe to about brawl level. I don't know.
Yeah, when I saw Mario's moves, because I actually remember Mario's frame data from Brawl, because I actually made the thread. But the damage was around Brawl for Mario at least. Um, like his back air in Smash Four was like what 6%? No, a little bit more than that, 8%, I think.
Mhm.
But in Brawl it was 11%, and it did exactly 11% when Zero was fighting NK Leo in the
That's
finals.
pretty
It did
cool.
11%.
That's pretty hefty
So
damage.
yeah, so I'm going to assume for most characters that were in Brawl, we'll be doing Brawl levels of damage,
Yeah.
or
I,
for one v
I'd
ones.
say that's a pretty fair assumption. I mean, I don't think everything's going to do the exact same amount of damage. I know for sure I saw when MKLea was doing some Sonic gameplay, I know there was a few things that he hit that didn't do as much damage as they do in Brawl. But as an
Hmm.
example, like his up throw in Smash 4 did like 7 or 8 damage. I want to say it was 7, which is more than it does in Smash 4. Um, in Ultimate's doing 7. That's cool. It's an upgrade from 4 where it was doing 5 damage. In
Yeah.
Brawl, it was doing 12, which was whew,
A lot.
my favorite part about Brawl Sonic was just the fact that you can up throw someone and you tech chase them, and it was a viable strat to getting a lot of damage on someone while abusing their landing options. If you're playing against a character like Snake, who struggled with landing, or Marth, basically most characters in Brawl actually had a lot of issues with landing, and if you're playing Sonic with a very grab happy like playstyle, like your spacing is really good and you're good at baiting aerials that you can power shield grab, any kind of situation where you can like punish air dodges and stuff like that, you could constantly get regrabs. Then you can your up throw for 12, you could get a pummel in there for 3 damage, and that actually only scaled down to 2%, by the way. So you were getting,
Hmm.
you would get a grab. The first grab would do 15. Get another one, that's another 14 or 15, somewhere around that ballpark. Um, and then, of course, if you get any like follow up, you got a forward air that was 14, you got a back air 13. Pretty big damage. So just off of grab combos, like not necessarily real ones, but like if you made the read that they weren't going to air dodge, that they were going to throw out a hitbox instead, or you did read the air dodge and got a regrab, then that could easily lead to 27 or more damage off of just one grab, which is crazy. That's like
Hmm.
damage that's like comparable to some of the longer combos that Brawl Smash 4 Sonic can do. Like if you were to get like up there into triple 40, that's like 20 24 or something. And this is just with like 2 hits. So
Yeah.
it's like, wow, that's ridiculous. But yeah, so that damage increase is kind of cool. We'll see if
The
it's
only
gonna
thing
be
I'm worried about, yeah, the only thing I'm actually really worried about for damage is that it seems like um everything is at like it's just like a flat increase, like it's like a flat multiplier increase. I want to
Mhm.
say, um, which means that like things like multi-hit moves,
Right.
like that hit multiple times, they're going to feel weaker, while like the big hitting moves, like the moves that does like like 16 damage on the regular, is like it's like a huge buff. But for multi hits, it's like way weaker.
Yeah.
That's something I'm really worried
That would
about.
make sense. Like kind of like Snake's neutral air and down air. And Brawl, both of those
Hmm.
do like 24 and 28 respectively. But in Smash 5, they may be doing something more like 16 or 15.
Yeah, it'd be something ridiculous. So that's the only real thing I'm worried about the flat damage increase for one v ones. Otherwise, I think it's a pretty cool mechanic, and probably should stick around, because that is an issue that they've been having for a very long time, balancing between one v one, um, and free for alls, because of course Smash wasn't built to be a 1v1 game at the very beginning.
Yeah.
But since they have been embracing the competitive scene, they've been working a lot harder
Yeah, I actually
on.
feel like Nintendo's been doing a really cool job on that. Honestly, it's been great that they're really trying to do their best to make it competitive. Maybe not all of them fully grasp the content, uh, like concept that we want in competitive gaming, but they're clearly making an effort. Bringing stuff like glide tossing back, reworking rage, increasing damage in 1v1s. Like this is pretty great stuff. I can't lie. It's pretty
Yeah,
nice.
not just that, but actually talking about it.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah, that's the other thing. They're not just like, well, we're putting it in there, but we're not going to talk about it. No, we're going to talk about it. We're acknowledging this is a thing. That's that's really good. They even talked about the directional air dodge as just shown in that video. Like, yep, they're not just putting it in the game. It's like, no, we're putting this in the game, but we're also going to let you know that we put this here on purpose. That wasn't an accident. Like
yeah.
that's another thing that's shown right there is the air dodge, or like pretty much if you try to spam rolls or air dodges, there's the decay on it. That's wow. They could have
Yeah,
added that ages ago, and it would have probably been good for it. So it's kind of cool that they did now. It's like that would have been
let me pull
something
it back
that they
just a
would
little bit
never have
because
included when they were making Brawl from Melee.
let me let me pull it back to the air dodges so that everyone can see like the amounts of air
Oh no,
dodges
no,
needed.
it wasn't that far back. It actually just played. Oh wait, no, never mind. It was that far back. Dang. Okay.
Yeah, it's only made a long video. That's why it's so
Oh,
far
okay.
back.
I see. I see.
But yeah, apparently it's well, it's probably like what we don't know is like the time frame.
Yeah.
Like, does it eventually
'Cause
recover
we
back
don't.
or
Yeah, we
something?
don't know exactly if it's gonna recover back, but I guess we'll see. It might.
But I'm looking right
It
here, and
it could be something to do with like stale moves queue. Like in Smash in general, there's this mechanic that a lot of people know about, which is the stale moves queue. And what it is basically the game keeps track of the last 9 moves you used in terms of attacks, and it stales them to where they're doing less damage and less knockback. So in Brawl, it was a huge deal, huge deal, and people didn't realize it. But keeping moves fresh did a lot in Brawl. Keeping them fresh in Smash 4 wasn't nearly as big a deal, but it was still helpful. Like a fresh Mario up smash is going to kill like 5 to 10% earlier in Smash 4, whereas in Brawl it could actually make like a 30% difference, which is crazy. But yeah, that's how it is. So it's possible they added air dodges and stuff like that as well to the stale moves queue, but I'm assuming and hoping that they just made it like on a timer sort of thing instead.
yeah, I hope so
Yeah,
too.
because if it's paired into the stale moves queue like with attacks, then that would mean they could refresh their attacks by dodging as
By
well.
dodging,
Yeah, which would be not good. Then they could,
kind of dumb.
yeah. Then they
Not gonna lie, it'd be kind of
and
dumb.
you see some really stupid crap like Snake doing like a roll like 3 times or 4 times on purpose, just so that way he has a fresh forward tilt back to doing like 16 or more damage. Whoever we'll see. We'll actually see how much damage forward tilt's doing now. I don't think I got to see. I saw him do a few forward tilts, but I didn't actually check the damage on those during the
Yeah,
invitational.
I'm looking at this video right now. It's like, yeah, like it's not just you get more vulnerable, but it just straight up takes longer.
Oh yeah, slower
Uh,
animation too.
yeah, much slower animation and less invincibility frames. Like that's just kind of insane,
Yeah,
you
that's a
know?
hard
Because
nerf.
if you look if you
They really.
yeah, if you look at the video right now,
Yeah, I'm looking.
it's pretty insane. Like holy crap, that's a lot of frames lost to just
They
rolling
really
excessively. And
don't
it's
want you to roll.
yeah,
Well, at least not more than 3 times. Clearly.
yeah. So like the to me, this sends a signal that like, hey, we understand that defensive play. Well, actually, I wanna check out one more thing that's actually super duper important for this, and you know what it is too, probably.
Okay.
Perfect shielding,
Of
or power
course.
shielding, as what we used to call it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think like for the most part, this is gonna be like a really hard nerf to just shielding in general. This is like a really hard nerf
Yeah.
for the most part, um, because There's no more panic shielding. Where like, oh, I power shield and now, like, no, you're not really thinking about shielding. You just pushing the button because you know an attack is incoming.
Yeah.
So you just power shield and like, oh, I can do things now. Now you actually have to plan out um your power shielding into your retaliation more or less. It's like making pretty similar to making a hard read.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you had to have your shield up ahead of time, which means like unless your opponent is just like really zoned out at the time, um, things like doing tomahawks and empty hops or, and cross ups even
Yeah, become a
will
lot
be
more viable.
lot more viable. Yeah. So this is to me this is like a pretty hard nerf to defensive play overall. That can combine with the whole dodging.
Hmm.
Like they're basically saying like, hey guys, we know for a fact that defensive play has been an issue in pretty much all the Smash games, not just Brawl or Smash 4, also in Melee and Smash 64. Um, it's been a really big problem. We're going to make the steps to make sure that aggressive play is a lot more viable.
On the other side of things, by the way, though, this actually does help a lot versus multi. So
Multi-hits,
like
for
something
sure.
like Meta Knight's Tornado back in the day could be really oppressive, and you had to shield it like the entire thing, but you couldn't do much unless you power shielded it. Like for an example, I'll give you, if you ever watch Mika Neko play against Satori back in the day, one thing he was known for is like his options versus Nado were flawless. And one thing he used to do a lot was he would do a power shield cancel. So when you power shield, but you don't hold the shield button down, you just tap it at just the right time, and your shield will come up for just a frame or two, and then it would be down instantly. And you're still like invincible as though you were shielding, but you're able to do a move. So he would do that into attacks. But now what this means also is that if you're getting hit by like a multi-hit like Meta Knight's NATO, you can drop shield in the middle of it and still have that perfect shield while doing an attack. So
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be really cool and interesting. But as you said, it's also going to be a good like way of nerfing holding shield like for an excessive amount of time, because if they do that, then like you said, they're much more likely to get hit with something like an empty hop into a grab. So a tomahawk. Just more options that are good against shield become even better. Stuff like shield breakers, tomahawks, and it's gonna be really interesting. It's pretty cool to see that Nintendo's interested in investing a little more in the competitive aspects of their video game, which is pretty nice. Pretty nice. Definitely.
Yeah, and honestly, the perfect shielding nowadays, like when I look at it in video, it really reminds me of the parry from
Street Fighter.
Third Strike.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really reminds me of that.
Mhm. Definitely has that vibe for sure.
Also, with the way how Mario looks,
Yeah,
it looks
he's
exactly like
literally
him.
like smacking the attack downward. He's like ready to go.
Hmm.
Let's go. Um,
Let's go.
so how do you feel about glide tossing coming back? So we saw a tweet go out just yesterday. Actually, Zero made a big tweet about it. He's like, "Oh man, glide tossing is back," and he's showing himself checking out the one of the videos from the Invitational. I think where Sakurai was just playing. It was either an Invitational or just some gameplay where Sakurai was doing like a free for all or whatever, and he was
Hmm.
playing, and he himself, the developer Sakurai, did a glide toss as Link into, I don't remember if it was a forwarder or a tilt, but I do remember he slid forward and threw the bomb at the same time, and then tried to follow it up. So how do you feel about that coming back though as an option? Like just the fact that Sakurai is aware of it and completely open to doing it. By the way, it's not like he tried to hide it.
Hmm.
He did it knowing it was being recorded.
He's like, I know you guys are watching.
Yeah,
This is what I'm thinking.
he knows
He's
we can
like,
see it. So it's not like he put this in and wanted to keep it hidden for the competitive scene. It's like look, no, I know what you guys want. I'm putting this back in. Just I feel like that's even more of a good sign. Like they really want this game to be a little more open to the competitive scene. I think it's really cool.
yeah. In hindsight, it makes me think like, so you pretty much know for a fact that for both Melee and Brawl, they didn't really look into the competitive
Yeah,
much.
none.
Like in fact, they kind of tried to stop one of them, but we were like, "Fuck no!" And they're like, "Oh, okay." And then I think that was Apex actually,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it was Apex 2013. No, not 2013. Shoot. Which one was it? No, wait. It was 2013, but it was a melee tournament that they had tried to stop.
yeah. And in Smash Four, they're like, you know what?
Oh no,
It, they,
that was Evo, dude. Sorry.
it was
It
Evo.
was Evo.
Was
It
it
was
Evo?
Evo. It was
Really?
an
I thought it
Evo
was
event.
Apex.
It's even in the Smash doc actually.
Okay. Oh, interesting. I really thought it was Apex because that was like a Smash only thing. But if it was at Evo, that's even worse.
Yeah. I think it was that Evo if I remember correctly. Either way though.
Because Evo
But
is like the place. But
but
yeah,
your
anyways.
point stands though. They were kind of against competitive play. They're like, no, don't broadcast this. No, we don't want it.
Yeah,
And
and
now they're
and
like
then
embracing it.
for Smash Four, I think they're kind of like doing like, well, if we can't beat them, join them type
Yeah,
of
they
thing.
were kind of trying to dip their foot back in. Okay, fine. Let's give them a little something. We'll give them 4 glory moves. Maybe they'll stop their shenanigans.
They'll stop their bullshit. But then they also did like the Invitational as well for Smash Four,
Yeah,
so it was
that's
like it was
true.
pretty obvious they want to do
They
it.
wanted to be
But
somewhat
you know,
inclusive, at least.
but to be honest, their whole Smash Four tournament thing was like complete garbage because it was um, like pretty much like almost like for like the first 3 rounds it was like uh free for all items on top two goes through. Then like second round's like free for all items on top. Like first, like the one who wins goes through,
Yeah,
and then it's like a 1v1 with no items at that point.
yeah,
They did this invitational a hell of a lot better, by the way. Like it was actually exciting all the way through.
yeah. They
But
had doubles instead this time, which is actually a competitive, an actual event.
yeah,
Um,
and
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I kind of feel like like they noticed that Smash Four was kind of like it was kind of dying a little bit because of not really because of Diddy, but because there actually were problems with the game. Like there were some unviable characters. Um, Diddy and Sheik were dominating pretty much everything. Um, a lot of the other high tier
Bayonetta.
characters. Yeah, we're gonna turn it in a minute. But a lot of the of the high tier characters actually couldn't really compare to Diddy. Like Diddy was actually getting to the point where he was becoming the next Meta Knight at that point. Like quite literally. Like even dumber than Meta Knight in my opinion, because just it was really just hoo ha that was doing like a lot of stuff. Like
Oh yeah,
if you
yeah,
can do hoo ha, you're doing like a lot of damage. But I think they saw that and they were like, no, we got to keep this game going. Like someone made the decision and said like we got to keep this game going competitively because they would not do the crap ton of balance patches throughout the year if someone didn't make that decision. And I guess at that point they're like, wait, this is actually kind of fun, kind of good to look at. People are enjoying it. Like people are playing the game a lot more than casual players. Like honestly, that's the honest truth.
yeah,
But I think they finally saw the holy grail that was staring right at them.
yeah,
And then that's why they're getting so serious with Smash Ultimate,
yeah.
with putting so much more effort into competitive.
They really are. It shows, and it's pretty great. I'm pretty excited about it for sure. So
Yeah, I'm not sure who made that decision, but thanks.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there was a few other changes though, too, which, as we briefly talked about, smashes out of run, overall knockback increase. But ultimately, yeah, from what we can tell, it's just definitely just more stuff to where they want there to be a little bit of a skill gap this time, at least a little
Yeah,
more
a
than
little
there
bit.
was in 4, even, which I am super stoked about. And yeah, that invitational though, that was really got me excited about it. So how did you feel about the roster of people that got invited though? We got 8 entrants. There are 8 invitees. 4 of them from
Oh,
Smash 4.
one last thing because I heard about this um on Twitter.
Hmm.
Apparently, he can turn stage hazards
Oh yeah,
off now on
yeah,
all
yeah. They
stages.
talked to they someone did mention that. Yeah. Um that's just like adding to the pile of good things, to be honest.
Yeah,
It's just like you don't have to worry about like there's great
we can
stages.
actually have a stage list now
a,
besides Smash.
a
Though
bigger
what?
stage list. Yeah, absolutely. Like back in the day, we played on Brawl, Delfino, Frigate. Actually, in the Invitational, we actually got to see uh, MKLeo and Zero play on Frigate once,
Oh
and
no,
it didn't flip.
yeah,
It
frigate
didn't
once.
flip.
Yeah.
That was one of the stage hazards back in Brawl. You could be star KO'd by the flip of the stage, or pushed under the
Hmm.
stage and just die that way. And then on
Yeah,
Halberd, the ship itself would attack you with a laser and the claw. Now you can disable that stuff, so you've got a wider choice for competitive play of which stages
much
are going to
wider
be
choice.
legal. So that's wow. It's just they were thinking about us,
Yeah,
man. That's what I
they
say.
were
They were
they were
thinking
thinking
about
about
us.
us.
All right, so pretty stoked. Um,
Yeah. So about your question about the roster, I'm like this seems like at first I thought like okay this is actually pretty correct, but then I thought like wait like where's the other Smash Four people at? Like where's Ally and Nairo?
yeah,
Like of course we saw Nairo
yeah,
being
we
like
got to see him
a
play.
god for a second.
We got to see him do
but,
some work for a little bit.
but I guess like they couldn't invite him so that like I was really surprised I didn't see Ally there because Ally was like one of the gods
Hmm.
of Smash,
Yeah,
a Smash Four at the very
kind
least.
of weird they didn't invite him of all people. They invited a bunch of other people, just I guess not Ally. Uh,
Yeah, and he would have come. Like he goes to America all the time,
hmm.
or rather, isn't he still in America, or did he move back to Canada?
I'm not sure on that, but your point stands. Yeah, he would definitely attend if he had been invited. So it's kind of weird that he didn't get invited for that. Uh,
Yeah, and no anti either.
yeah,
No anti being
I don't
invited
think it
either.
was something like in the case of Mewtwo King where they don't want him to represent the competitive community or whatever have you. You know, there's like definitely that's a thing, and that's why if you noticed, Mango was a lot more cleaned up than he usually looks.
Yes.
He like shaved his
Mm-hmm.
hair, trimmed his beard a little. He tried to look prim and proper, like a little more presentable.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you would catch him on streams for Melee or his own personal streams, usually he's just like, it's whatever. I like looking like
Muscle shirt, a
whatever. Yeah,
bunch of hair
yeah.
all over
Yeah,
him.
he
Yeah.
doesn't care. He's like, yeah, I'm down. But for this, he's like, oh, they invited me. But clearly, they must have messaged him and said, okay, but the stipulation is you gotta look
Please
good,
look presentable.
look presentable. And he's like, oh, crap.
Wow,
So
crap! I gotta look
he's gotta look.
presentable.
He got time to go get a haircut, go trim and beard, clean it up. Yeah. So I don't think that was the issue though with Ally. Like Allies pretty much always look presentable, so that's kind of interesting they didn't invite him. Um, but yeah, it makes sense. They want to pick people who are super presentable and get like representatives for their
Yeah,
for their game. So it's
yeah,
like
and also they make really good represent um they're really recognized. Is
yeah,
what I'm trying to
yeah,
say.
absolutely. They're known from Mango and Lucky, Plop. They're all known from Melee, and then you got Zero, you've got H-Box, you've got MK Leo. They picked some good players for sure. They did. It's just kind of
Was
surprising
Xbox
they didn't.
was Xbox in the
Not
tournament? I
H-Box.
don't
That
think
was
so.
I'm thinking of 2013, 2014 or 2013 now. The Smash 4 one. Now
Yeah.
H-Box wasn't there for this one. Who was it instead? I know it.
What?
Yeah, I did say Plup. I could have sworn it was 4 though. Was there 4 Melee
Yeah,
players?
it was Armada.
Oh, that's who it was. I
Is that
forgot
Armada?
Armada. Yeah, it was Armada,
Mm-hmm.
Mango, Lucky, and Plop. That's who it was. So four really good players. Um, also really recognized. And then from Smash 4, we had, of course, MK, Leo, Zero. Who was the other two? Oh, we had Mr. R and
Mr. R, yes.
one more. Who was that?
He got pretty fast. I can't remember his name. It was shoot. It was Zero in KLeo. Um, I can look at it right now. Let me go and take a look.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, if it was super easy to remember, we would have remembered it. But it would have been pretty early. I think it was who was it?
Please. Don't worry, we're professionals.
Okay. Yeah, it was Abadango.
Oh yeah, Abadango.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Abadango. He
That's
was
what it
repping
was.
Japan, and he was insanely recognized in America too, which is probably why they picked him
Yeah.
over everyone
That
else.
was a good choice. That's really, really good actually. I 100% appreciate that. Absolutely. But yeah, so he had those four going at it, and then they had the whole draft thing. Everybody gets to pick three characters. I think two of them put Snake on their roster. And of course Zero put Sheik, Mario, and you had Plup picking up Ridley and I think Samus. I don't remember who else, but the most noteworthy things I want to say that I saw during the actual tournament for like how things played out. Definitely got to see some cool things with Mario and Sonic, but also probably the biggest thing and maybe a little bit controversial, Bayonetta.
Hold on, I was waiting for this moment.
he came
I got the video right
he
here.
came
I got
prepared
the
for
video right
just
here.
this moment. Bayonetta. Oh my. This this match this match was something.
I'll be like this match was only 2 minutes long.
This
That's the funny part.
it's four stocks, four stocks each, and this match, wow,
Hold on.
Bayonetta looking
No, it's in HD. It's a little
crazy.
blurry, but I guess it's whatever. But yeah, it was insanely fast,
Yeah, this is,
and it is controversial, but people are defending it, and I can see the defense.
yeah, no, I
Um,
understand. It's green. It's greens, and they were already near the ceiling, but that's still pretty.
yeah,
That's pretty yikes, man.
it's pretty. Yeah, I'll say yikes is a good word for this. Also, the finals matches are
Yeah, they're
still
still unable for
pretty.
this
It's just
event, and getting hit with that witch time, pretty rough.
yeah, it pretty much ruins like the dream of final smashes becoming a competitive thing.
Yeah.
When literally every one of them are one shots.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, the one that actually surprisingly isn't is Sonic's, which is really funny. He's got nerfed super hard. It looks cool though. I think aesthetically it looks amazing. I really wish that it was like better, but yeah, it can actually miss, which we got to see that from Kaleo using
mhm.
it, and there you go. That's exactly what
That's the thing.
everyone was uh kind of disappointed to see that it came
Yeah,
back.
and even the announcers were like, "Oh, it's still a thing."
Yeah, yeah, that was TK Breezy. He was like, "Wow, okay, we thought we got away, but we didn't." They were like, they even made a comment about it, and I'm wondering if I'm pretty sure Sakurai was kind of low key hinting at he's taking that shit out because
Yeah, he's
I
like,
do.
it's like I found a few
Yeah,
bugs.
he said it at the end of the event. He's like, this was wonderful to see. Wanted to watch this. I was looking for some interesting things, maybe some bugs, and I saw a few. He like just drops a little hint. Hopefully, that's what he's keeping us in on because that was kind of a rough game, and it's like, ooh, man, we don't, like that's if there's one thing people didn't like about Smash 4 that stands out above the rest, it's definitely that. Definitely,
Yeah, the
definitely getting just janked out.
getting
But
laddered.
yeah, getting laddered by Bayonetta just feels bad, man. I mean,
See, now I have like a personal question. Well, not really personal, but it's like more of like a logical thought, but behind all that though, like because we we complain a lot about Bayonetta's ladder combos, but we still have like one other character that is able to do ladders as well, and that's Zero Suit
Oh,
Samus.
I thought you were gonna say Meta Knight.
Um, I mean, Meta Knight, that's like the only thing he has. Well, I can't say that,
In
but it's
Smash 4,
like,
that was like one of his big things. Like,
yeah, it's like his only big thing though.
yeah,
Like the rest were all like stuff to get him to set that up, you
yeah,
know.
pretty much.
So it was dash attack to up air chains into up air.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
But
and
yeah,
that was like the
it wasn't like
only way
it
he
wasn't
could
like
kill early.
ZSS or crazy. It's like, oh man, his neutral's really good, and then on top of all of his like really good solid play, he's also got this cheese. It's like, it's like, no, he's just the cheese. There's no meat, there's no
Yeah.
steak. It's just cheese. Wow. So
Yeah, so I think like, well, ZSS is still a thing, but we never really complained too hard about ZSS laddering.
yeah, no.
So why were you complaining about Bayonetta though? That's like my only real
I
honest
feel
question
like
today.
it's mainly comes down to ZSS. She's a strong character, but outside of her ladder, she doesn't really do anything that like breaks the game too hard. She kind of has like a solid neutral, but she has some rough matchups. Like Sonic does pretty decently against her, like for the most part. Mario doesn't do bad either. Um, I mean Fox, Ryu, like she's really light. Her neutral's not crazy broken. She kind of has to approach people at least somewhat. Bayonetta,
Hmm.
she's kind of in a different like tier though, because she's got witch time, she's got her guns, her hitboxes are pretty crazy. Like her edge guards are solid. With Nair, she's got an amazing recovery. Zero Suit kind of like lackluster version of Bayonetta, low key kind of is. Um, but
Hmm.
Zero Suit, I mean, she's a solid character. I don't know, she doesn't really break the game the way Bayonetta does, though. She never really
Yeah,
did,
and
though.
I guess the whole thing like her grabs.
Oh yeah,
Um,
her grab is super punishable. It was even worse than Brawl,
yeah,
but I mean, it's still super punishable. So, making basically when you make mistakes as Zero Suit, you get punished a bit harder than you do as Bayonetta, especially when you got Witch Twist, Witch Time, um, and Bat Within, all that stuff going for you. So it's like, yikes.
yeah, that makes sense. That makes a bit more sense. It's still though, so it's like, are we actually okay with the ladder combos and just less about like, is it less about the ladder and more about Bayonetta just
Oh
being
yeah, no.
really fucking
If I
good?
had to say honestly, I think it's okay if she has the ladder combos. If she had a worse neutral and was a little bit lighter, and yeah, it's like you said, it's like Zero Suit has the ladder stuff too. It's probably not as consistent as Bayo's, but she still has it, and yet at the same time, no one really complains about it because, as you mentioned, different characters. It's pretty much comes down to it just needs to be the right kind of nurse. I think it would be kind of sad to take away Bayonetta's ladder combo entirely because it's kind of like very representative of her in her own game. Her game's very combo based, so it'd be kind of weird
Hmm.
to have her character unable to really execute combos when she comes
Yeah,
from a game where it's all about comboing things. So, or not all about it, but it's a very big thing in her game. So it's kind of weird to take
yeah,
that
and
away.
it's really flashy too. To be honest,
Yeah,
it's
it
really
looks
flashy.
cool. It's a little a little too reliable. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'll say that. It is. Actually, I think you put it on the nail on the head right there. Like it's a really reliable combo to always do,
Yeah.
and reliable basically like it usually means easy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it was like
If it was a little easier
if
to
you can if there was
SDI.
counterplay against it, yeah, if there's a counterplay against it,
Mm-hmm.
um, make Bayonetta work harder
Yeah.
against
If
ladders.
her ladder combo was entirely read based and no reaction at all, then it would be absolutely hype as hell. I would have no complaints about it. It'd be 100% reads, like to the points where it's like, okay, they can DI in either direction, but you can't do the ladder combo unless you perfectly read it. So, like, say for example, after the initial witch twist, if you DI left, then she has to do side B left. If you DI right, she has to do side B to the right. But it's like completely not reaction, but purely read. So in other words, if there's like very
I like how MK like shook his
like,
head.
yeah, he knows he cheesed him. He knows he did. Well, it's funny because a lot of people thought he was shaking his head at the booing, But as a competitive player who's been there, who's done the dirty and cheesed somebody and then shaked his head at how stupid that was afterwards, like I've been there. I know that head shake. I've
Yeah,
done that head shake.
I know that too. I
Yeah,
know it too.
I did that head shake. The last time I remember doing that head shake was when I played against Savage, who was one of the top 10 players in Austin, and he was playing Sheik, and I cheesed him and killed him at like 80 with rage. As Sonic, and
Mhm.
Sonic's not like, it's not like it's DK where it's like, oh, okay, he's known for killing you super early. It's like, no, Sonic's known for camping you, getting a load of damage, and then probably cheesing you by like a good edge guard usually. But no, this was like he got spring up aired when he was at like 60, and I had like rage to 150. So that's the kind of head shake that was. That wasn't, oh well, f you guys are cheering against me. That was like, no man, I can't believe she can still do that. That's BS,
Yeah.
dude. It was that head shake. He knew it. He knew
Mhm.
what was up, and I think most top players know
Yeah.
exactly what that was. Just it. He
Yeah.
knew, and
I
I
think
think that's why he didn't go her at all in Grands against Zero.
she did. He did once.
He
Once.
did. Okay. Okay.
For, the first
First.
match, and then the
Oh,
rest was all
wait.
Sonic.
Wasn't that first game of winners?
No, it was
Oh,
Grands.
okay. Okay. Gotcha.
But he reset the bracket, and then it was all Sonic
Oh,
versus
that's right.
Mario.
That's right. You're right. I forgot about that. I forgot about the back reset. Yep. That's exactly. This is game one Bayo, game
Yeah.
two and three Sonic, and then bracket reset into 3-0'd by Zero. That's what it
I'll go
was.
ahead and put this up since we're talking about it now, because I actually do want to talk about this. Because the funny part is, it's Mario versus Sonic, and guess who you're talking to?
A Sonic and a Mario main, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this was like a particularly hype match for both of us, I
Yeah, we
think.
were both kind of
So,
interested to see how this goes. Um, to be honest with you, though, I wasn't rooting for Leo. If I'm completely real, like I love Sonic to death. I mean Sonic, and I'm all about him. But I wasn't rooting for Leo here because thing is, if you were in the chat, if you were in the YouTube chat when they were streaming this, man, I hate to insult people on this, but there's a lot of people who are very I lose the game. Let me cry for nerfs, please. So
oh
for
yeah,
that very
yeah.
reason, I would rather say MKLeo. People just not complain about Sonic because honestly, let's be real. MKLeo and Zero are both very high level players. I don't think either of them would beat the other just because of character choice, not on its own anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They're at a level of
Yeah.
play to where they're going to adapt to the characters they're playing, and it's mostly going to come down to who plays better, unless it's like a completely new character. But both of them are pretty familiar with how Mario and Sonic play from Smash 4, and the characters didn't change drastically
That
between
much. Yeah,
in
they didn't
4
change
and
that much.
5. So it's like, no, dude, that had nothing to do with Sonic being broken or Mario being broken. This is going to come down to which of the two plays better in this matchup or in this particular set. And the thing is, I
So
just don't.
if I'm understanding right, you're basically saying that you didn't want NK Leo to win because you didn't want Sonic nerf, right?
Not because of the wrong reason. If he is
Okay.
genuinely a broken character, I would be 100% on board. That's fine. But I don't. I would hate for him to. Well, oh, Sonic won Invitational. Let's nerf the shit out of him. That's just the wrong reasoning for doing a nerf. That's so stupid. So that's pretty much it. Other than that, yeah, absolutely. I would be like, yeah, let's. I want Sonic to win. I want Sonic to be a good character. I want Leo to perform well because he's playing my favorite character. So obviously, but there was a little bit more of that. I don't want to see this character nerfed just because a top player played better than another top player.
Oh wow, that was a sexy combo.
It really
I need
was.
to see that. I need to see
That
that.
was pretty dope. It's the border. It's not even a sweet spot, but that was still pretty dope.
It still looks sexy.
Yeah, it was dope, and the follow up too with the flood. Well, that was pretty
Mm-hmm.
neat. I really wish he hit that. I really wish he hit the cape though, or if he'd get
Yeah.
anything other than a cape, just another dunk, maybe a space bear, maybe a fireball.
Yeah, I was like, okay, Smash for Mario is still here. Is what I basically thought of when I saw that combo. I was like, okay, that's still Smash for Mario. for the most part.
Yeah,
Just with more damage, which is even better.
like this really looks like when I was watching this, like man, this really looks like a Smash 4 match. This doesn't look like this is a new game. Until that happened,
Until that happened, it's like, oh.
when that happened, I got reminded. It took me out of the. I was like, kind of in a daze, like, wow, I'm just watching another Smash 5 game, another Smash 4 match, but different graphics. And then that happened. I'm like, oh crap, it is a different game.
Okay, it's like you can't air dodge anymore, really. Can we talk about air dodge?
Yeah,
Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. So, how do you feel about that? Because we talked briefly about it earlier. Basically, I think it could be neat. I don't know for sure if it's going to bring back wave dashing. There's a little bit of talk about it bringing in wave landing, though, which is basically when you're about to land, like say you did a full jump aerial, when you're about to land, you can kind of air dodge into the ground when you're like really, really close. Not like the way with wave dash where you're doing it from the ground, but rather as you're landing, you get a little bit of slide to the left or right based on where you're air dodging towards. And then the other thing is it can be used for recovery for a character like Mac, which I think is kind of cool. But what are your thoughts on it? How do you feel about it coming in? Do you think it has a place in Smash 5? Do you think it's going to be bad or good for the cast or the game itself? What do you think?
I'm kind of on the fence, to be honest. Like I think overall it's just different. I don't think it's good or bad. It's just different.
Okay.
But honestly, I am on the fence because if you look at this video right here, double jump, air dodge, he can't do shit for like what 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's quite a long cooldown. They really didn't. They didn't want anybody to abuse that. I don't think.
Yeah, and towards the end, you see Zero do a cake because I bet he was panicking. He's like, holy shit, I can't do anything. He was panicking. He's like, where's my buttons at?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like,
and I think that's
like, oh no, man,
that's gonna be kind of an adjustment because it's kind of like a melee-esque air dodge, not fully melee. Because if it was melee, he wouldn't have been able to air dodge. He wouldn't have been able to cape at all. He'd just fall into his death. But it's melee-esque in the sense that you can't move immediately afterwards, or even for a good while. So you couldn't do another air dodge. You couldn't do anything. And that's the thing in melee too. And they kind of they cope. It's not too big a deal in melee. In fact, I would venture to say it's that they base their playstyles around the way their air dodge works in a lot of the ways.
Yeah.
Especially characters like Luigi Marth who get their wave dashes and wave lands in mass. So hopefully we'll see something like that happen with this game too. But I do think air dodges are probably still going to see some use. You might see some stuff like cross-ups with Jigglypuff using an air dodge into like the ground behind someone or something. Maybe, I don't know. But I think for the most part, it'll probably be used defensively, or if not just to recover. But definitely, it's going to be an adjustment, I think, for a lot of people, just because there's so much cooldown on it that you can't like feasibly use it without knowing you absolutely have to.
Yeah, and the jury's still out as far as lightning lag is concerned. I'm going to say there's going to be wave. Well, there is no wave landing actually. At least I don't think there is. I know for a fact that you can't wave dash off a platform.
Yeah, I don't think you can wave dash. Maybe wave land. I don't know, but I guess we'll get to see when we get our hands on it. But I don't know. I'm not too sure on that information.
Yeah, I'm not going to put out any rumors or anything like that. I'm just going to say that I don't believe wave dashing is going to be used heavily. And there is going to be wave dash. Like it's impossible not to. It's part of the physics.
Yeah.
But in terms of being useful for competitive play, I think it's going to be used very sparingly.
Yeah, especially with the whole like rolling and air dodge decay mechanic as well. So even if it didn't have much landing lag, then I still don't think that it would get used too much, just because you're lessening the number of options you have by spamming it constantly. So, don't know.
Oh, by the way, this is a lot closer match than it was against Plup.
Oh yeah, no, way closer.
Much closer.
Of course, Zero does know how to fight against Bayonetta, and this is a slightly nerfed version of her in this game. But I mean,
yeah,
and
would you say in Smash 4, Mario has a pretty good matchup?
Oh yeah, no, he's got a solid match for sure. I think it's like 6-4 though.
Yeah.
Maybe 55-45 in KO's favor. but he does really well mainly because of his grab combos. The thing, because that's the thing Bayonetta struggles the most with is just grabs. She doesn't struggle too much against people who just throw out hitboxes. You know, that's a free witch time. She gets the right read. Hey, hello, Surprise Zero. MKLO's face like, wow, the cheese.
Wow, they just wow, they sunscreen for a long time. Wow, that'd be a lot sooner. There we go. Oh, it's his Sheik now.
That's right.
How do you feel about Sheik?
Sheik seems pretty not different at all, to be honest.
Yeah,
it's like almost the exact same character from Smash 4. I don't think I noticed any like major difference. There might have been, well, obviously I'm pretty sure there's a difference in terms of damage output, but other than that, it's like, no, this is like copy pasted.
I do know from Twitter, someone said her grenades doesn't make her free fall anymore.
Yeah.
So you can use them to stall now.
Yeah, like kind of air stall during your recovery, or just like landing.
That's like the only change I saw.
That's pretty cool, honestly. That's like a what you call it, a quality of life change right there.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Definitely
Not bad. And yeah, they made changes to Sonic's
though,
kill power. If that was Smash 4, that would not have killed. Not enough rage.
Yeah, absolutely.
No rage plus that like 115. In Vanilla 4, it probably would kill, but you would still need at least 50 rage. And rage does actually start at 50 in Smash 4 when it actually starts mattering. But in this game, rage doesn't start till 120, so that was a rageless up smash, killing it 115. So notably, It seems like characters definitely don't really need rage to kill. So that's pretty cool because that means that heavy characters won't be getting too heavy of an advantage, no pun intended, on them having rage, but rather it's just going to be an assisting tool to characters who can survive longer. And wow, that was a read and a half right there. Holy crap. The harpoon. That's what we used to call that when we would down angle forward smash against a Sharking Meta Knight in Brawl. And people still do that.
Harpoon?
People still do that in Smash 4, but they do it whenever someone's on the ledge, like planking, in the situation that you kind of saw there. Someone will try to two-frame it sometimes too. But yeah, it's a pretty cool option. And yeah, we called it harpooning because when Meta Knight was under Halberd or Delfino and he's doing his up airs, they would call that sharking. But the thing is, you could angle your forward smash downwards and hit Meta Knight through the stage with it and kill him at like 80 or 90. You know, it depended on how good his DI. Usually the DI was going to be that good because they weren't usually expecting to get hit in that situation, because generally most characters can't hit through the floor, but a down angled forward smash from Sonic could.
I just
which
noticed
is why they called it
I think that's a change.
Which
with Sheik's grab.
Oh,
with Sheik's forward throw.
Maybe.
Okay. That she wasn't able to do her. Well, Zero did the up air though, not forward air.
Oh, okay. So, he didn't try to go for a forward throw forward aim.
Yeah, he went for forward throw up air. So
Zero's
still
there
out.
Could be too much delay to go for forward air, but yeah, it could also just be he just did the move. Like you said, jury's out. But I will say I feel like it would have been staple for him to go for forward air. So maybe he knows something we don't. Maybe he got to do a little bit of play testing before the event and already tried out doing forward throw forward air. Maybe it doesn't work, but we really can only tell. Only time can tell. So, but something to think about. Yeah, definitely.
Let's go to the meat of this. The actual meat, the exciting part.
Sonic Mario. Oh boy, this set was quite good though. Pretty entertained throughout. Honestly, there's like loads of back and forth. I feel like Leo held the lead for a good bit during the beginning too. Like he's doing really solid.
Yeah, for me, I was really like I just thought for sure like okay, NK Leo is gonna go Bayonetta like against.
Oh yeah, that surprised me
nope.
too. Yeah, I thought he was
like, nope, Sonic.
I thought he was gonna go try hard, like just Bayo to win. I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't he? If he wants to win it, that's what he's gonna do. But this really instilled in me, like, no, he really didn't want to just cheese. He wanted to put on a good show. I think he only wanted to do a few games of Bayo just to, show what she can still do.
This is still dumb.
Yeah, it's like, no, this is still here. This didn't go away. So, a lot of people were talking about it if you look on Reddit. some people were making the meme like, MKLA or Pluck paid the price for this.
Wait, the
Pluck paid
price.
the price. He paid the price for this, so that we can get fixed. Pluck died to save our
Okay,
game, or something like that. It's pretty funny.
so this is the exact, probably like the exact
Same thing that happened.
cooldown. Yeah, the exact cooldown of air
Yeah,
dodging, because he double jumped in up B.
yeah,
Also magnets. Magnets are,
still here. Well, not as crazy because
they're not nearly as good.
yeah, because he
They're
would have
not
instant
nearly as good.
snapped in 4, I think. But then again, maybe he was holding up past the ledge and it just went above it. So maybe he wasn't.
Oh,
Maybe
I
he
think.
wasn't actually trying to sweet spot it.
Okay, no, never mind. Never mind. Let's keep going. But yeah, the air dodge cooldown is just wow.
It's
Like,
quite
holy
lengthy.
shit.
Yeah, they really don't want us throwing it out. And look right there, that would kill in Smash 4. With that amount of rage, forward smash, you'd be dead. So very
Yeah,
clearly, rage is a lot less than what it was. It's still strong, but it's definitely
oh,
not a game
I
breaker.
just noticed something. I just realized something. You might have seen it already, but I just did.
Uh huh.
You see Mario's icon at the bottom.
Yeah. Oh, it
Yeah,
seems. Yeah,
it's
when he's got rage.
yeah, it steams up.
Yeah.
That's a very clear indicator. I never noticed that until now.
Yeah. His body's steaming too.
Yeah, I noticed the body, but just
The
the icon
portrait.
steaming
Yeah.
is,
That's pretty cool.
yeah, it makes it very
It's pretty.
clear.
Yeah. No surprises. No going like, oh, I didn't know he had rage. It's like, no, you definitely knew. It was on the it's on the portrait, bro. Can't miss it.
Yeah, so that's very cool. That's
Yeah.
very cool.
Another good
Um,
quality of life change that I really like for sure. I mean, I don't think
yeah,
as a competitor for the most part you're not gonna be surprised by it, but still. Also, wow though. This also really surprised me, like just how well like MKLO knows Sonic. He doesn't know, like it isn't. It's not like SP level play per se, but it's definitely like really good quality. Um,
wow, that was fast.
yeah, like no,
That's
his Sonic's really solid. Like he just knows how to apply his fundamentals to the character, which is really nice. Um, Mad respect to him. And yeah, like even Sonic can't make it back from that heavy air dodge lag. And that character probably in Smash 4 had the best, or one of the most reliable recoveries. Just the air dodge below the
yeah,
stage, you're dead. So that's just absolutely not an option unless you're air dodging into the ledge. And
yeah. Obviously, MK Leo didn't know about the lag
yeah,
either. He's like, whoa.
yeah, he wasn't ready. He just
Probably.
wanted to not get hit by Mario Forward Smash, and he paid the price
Hmm.
just for that. Like, had he known, I'm sure, had he expected as much like, I'm sure he would have just probably air dodged into the stage or just try to grab the ledge, maybe spring,
Hmm.
literally anything other than air dodge, I'm sure. But he wasn't aware. But now he knows, and so do we. So he took one for the team. So man, yeah, okay. That was good on Zero not to double jump into it or anything like that. He just holds his jump. Solid play, honestly. This set was really high level. Like I said, like we mentioned before, like this is more like watching two high level players in Smash 4 go at it than like, oh, this is a new game. More so than it was back when we saw the Invitational for Smash 4 anyway,
Yeah,
where there's like a lot of people like just kind of experimenting playing other characters. We had the whole thing with Zero, like almost, or did he time someone out? I want to say he timed someone out with Kirby. I don't remember. But
hmm,
all I know is there was a lot of like very mediocre play or like low level play in that invitational compared to this one.
yeah. Like this matchup kind of shows a glimpse of what the beginning of Smash
Wow,
Five would
that would have been a
look like.
death. That would have been a death
Oh yeah,
with
that'd been a
rage.
death and a half.
Yeah, like and a half. Like holy moly, he got hit by up smash at 95 ish with rage. Like, bruh, you're dead.
Let me
But
just go
not in
back
this
here.
game.
Yeah, like
Bam, dead.
yeah,
No,
he would have been super dead in Smash Four, but
absolutely ultra dead, man. No
but that
chance.
part, like when I first saw that, so that was like that part surprised me. It was like, but Mario is at
The back
one.
throw kill.
Yeah, Mario is at 140 though, so like that makes sense. But
But still, it was like, wow, that's still here. Okay,
yeah,
he did have rage, and it was at 140. Actually, no, he didn't have rage yet.
No, he
You
didn't
just
have to.
back through him at 140. Wow, that's actually cool for a Sonic means. That's another option for killing.
Yeah, it'll take a while to get there, but at least he can kill now.
Yeah, at least he can kill. I mean he could kill in 4 too, but you had to be very patient about how you did it. And pretty much like if you didn't kill with back throw or forward smash or with a back air or forward smash, then you probably weren't gonna kill without rage. That's pretty much how it went.
Wow, the
But
hype from Zero. He's like, oh yeah.
he's like, oh yeah, clutch that.
It's not even for money
Yeah,
either. Like, it's
he's
like
like F Sonic. I
there's
gotta
no
prove
money
myself.
prize for this, right?
No, there was no money involved. He literally just did this because he wanted to.
Yeah, and he wants to be the winner.
Yeah, that's reasonable. I mean, like I definitely don't blame him for wanting to win. He's playing in front of
In front of a
many
crowd,
many
yeah.
people. Like it's a pretty big crowd, and then online there's tons of people watching. There was like 900K people watching when this event was going on. So it's I don't blame him for trying to perform his best. That's the right decision. He wants to put on a good show. Completely reasonable.
Yeah, and I think like it's also that natural competitive spirit too, where
Oh
you,
yeah,
you just want to
just
win, like.
just competitive players. We're
Hmm.
all kind of like that a little bit. Where just we got to get that win, man. Always, even if it's not just about the win. Sometimes it's just about performing at your best, right? Sometimes you're like, if you're playing against someone you know is far better than you still want to do as best as you can. Maybe it's like you're playing against like top player in the state and you're maybe not top ranked yourself, but maybe you want to get them to last stock at the very least, or maybe you just desperately want to be able to take a game. If you're always trying to push yourself, it's not like just as simple as oh, I'll just play and have fun. It's like no, I am having fun by being competitive. I am also having fun. It's kind of like
Yeah,
that same regard as with speedrunners.
yeah. A lot of people
Speedrunners,
don't
we
don't
see.
don't really understand that though. Like a lot of casual players, they're like, man, you're playing it competitively. Like you're not having fun.
Why?
It's like
There's no way you can have fun because you're taking it too
it's too
seriously. It's
seriously.
like no,
No.
it's no. Being competitive is fun because you see yourself improving, and that feeling of improvement is so nice.
Yeah. Also, this
And
this
just
this 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 combo is still here. And it's like, oh yes.
oh yeah, the up E,
Yeah, the
the up air up E,
that
yeah, up airs,
that said, I am worried
the
because it,
Mario
it
ladder.
it wasn't from a down throw. Um,
Yeah, that's true.
so that
He may
does
not
that
be
does
able
worry
to
me a
do it
little
from
bit.
a down throw. I
Yeah,
think there was a time when he tried I think when Zero tried to do a down throw up tilt, but
yeah.
I think he got like bat within when he
No,
tried
he
to do
got
it
he
against
got he got
Amphilio.
he got poked by Bayo when he went for the second up tilt. So,
Oh, I see.
so he
Okay.
did down throw up tilt and then Bayo push a button and it was done at that point.
Yeah. So it definitely doesn't look nearly as viable, I would say.
Hmm.
But
Do you want to
be
explain
interesting to
how
see.
Rage actually works? Because we got a question for that.
Okay. So basically, the way Rage is going to be working now, we already said a bunch about it. Like it's clearly not as crazy, but the way it looks like it's been reworked to is you get Rage starting now, as you see Mario right now is 120. That's when Rage starts. Until you're at 120%, you
Ooh,
have no
that recovery
Rage.
though.
Secondly, it doesn't scale the way in Smash 4, your rage started at 50 and it capped at 150. When you were at 150, you could kill people like 40% or 30% earlier, which was ridiculous and honestly a little bit game breaking.
Yeah,
But in this game, it doesn't look like it. Well, for one, it doesn't scale at all, and it starts at 120. But also, it doesn't look like it even comes close to what the rage cap did in Smash 4. It
not
looks
even
like it
close. Yeah,
only really increases like the knockback maybe by like 10-15%,
that's
which is
stretching it.
not yeah, that's stretching it exactly. So it doesn't look like you'll ever kill someone below like 80 unless it's like you're right next to the ceiling, right next to the blast zone. It doesn't look like you're killing someone below 80 in this game. But at the same time, because knockback has been increased overall, we've gotten to see people dying at like 110 120, and there's a really early kill right there. But that
Yeah,
one,
that was a charge smash
even though
too.
that was no rage, that was a
Yeah,
charged forward smash,
mm-hmm.
charged for about a second and a half, right next to the blast zone, with Mario at 100. So fairly reasonable to die to that. That would kill you in Brawl if you have no DI. In Smash 4, that would definitely kill you in 4
Mm-hmm.
as well. Even without rage, you probably still die there. Um, so the fact that he doesn't have rage here, but if in Smash 4 he would have rage because he was at 100 already. But in this game, rage isn't starting until 120. So that's pretty cool. Interesting to see for sure.
Wow, that's nice air dodge actually. That's
Really
fair
good
application.
change. Oh yeah, he did it above the stage, knowing that he'd be able to make the up B this time, because now he has a general idea of exactly the cooldown for it. After the first one where MKLO air dodged below stage and died for it, so this time he has a little bit more knowledge on it.
Yeah, so I guess that's how we're gonna have to use our air dodges now. Like air dodge to basically juke more or less to juke out of an attack, and then just make sure that you can recover right after that. Like I I'm still on the fence about it. Like it's not like I want Smash 4 or even Brawl air dodge back. Although I think out of all of them, I prefer the Brawl ones because you just get so many more options out of it. And
Yeah, there's a little that less landing lag leads into more options, so pretty good
yeah,
stuff.
but
Also multi air dodge, but it's not bad. It's a change.
yeah, a lot of people from Smash that just only play Smash 4, they don't really understand just how bad the air dodge is in that game. Like it's actually really bad. Like it was basically only used to dodge a really obvious hit, more or less, or to go
Right.
or it was like your only option for a 50-50 because
Mm-hmm.
because your character is bad, I guess, or something like that. Um,
Right.
at least this air dodge has much more application than Smash 4's because Smash 4 was basically like your last ditch effort to not die, more or less. While in both melee it had the strongest application because of wave dashing, but in but at least in Smash 5, it's a proper dodge that can go into something else. And I
Right.
think that's what I want the most out of that. That's what I like about it.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Definitely going to be interested to see how its usage kind of evolves over time.
Yeah, and I'm really wondering if like some hard ass melee fan is going to find some application of the wave dashing in this game. I was like, it's probably not going to happen because from what I don't want to. It's not confirmed, but it seems very likely that we'll still have the landing lag from Smash 4 air dodging. It seems very likely that'll still be a thing if you air dodge into the ground.
Right.
But if there isn't,
I think I saw it once where it looked debatably less laggy, but I don't know. I really need to see it more than once to say for sure. But the only time I saw someone air dodge somewhat close to the ground and it didn't look that laggy was someone was playing Mega Man in a free for all and they did it by accident. But it really wasn't easy to say for sure because it was a casual player. It was hard to say whether they just didn't know they could move or if they were just stuck in lag.
yeah. Either way though, I'm starting to warm up a bit more with the air dodging. Um, but I don't think there's anything spectacular about it. Just the fact that they're saying, okay, we're gonna make air dodge a. Would you say it's a much riskier option than it is in Smash 4? Air dodging.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more risky in this game. And Smash 4 was riskier than Brawl as well.
Yeah,
So it's kind of it went from being almost no risk in Brawl to risky in Smash 4, but still kind of useful in some situations. But the thing is, like, in the same sense of making it less risky or more risky, they also took away some of the utilities of it. And now
yeah.
this version seems to kind of add more utility, honestly. but
Yeah.
at the same time make it riskier.
Yeah.
So I kind of like the change. It's not. I prefer having more options, even if it means like a slightly more punishable air dodge. Well, not even slightly. I'd say considerably more punishable air dodge, but having more options to use it or more utility is really just really nice. So I'm definitely not complaining about that. Not at all. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like I said, it's just different. I had to play it more in order to I had to play it,
To really,
at all.
we have to see it played more or play it more. We need more exposure to it to really
Hmm.
give it a solid opinion instead of just taking it at face value.
Yeah, just it'll still see that's a really good use of air dodging actually. Like holy crap, that's
Yeah,
actually really good. Uh, he's like, I'm going to try to hit this move because you're going to run into it, and Killai's like, nope. And then
yeah,
he was actually he wasn't able
yeah.
to like
And there,
immediately counter him, but he was able to make the reason.
he had enough time to punish it,
Yeah,
to punish the forward smash, but it didn't look like he could move instantly.
and I don't think that
But
would have happened in Smash
it
Four.
no, I don't think so. I definitely feel like that would have been a completely different situation for him to be in had this been Smash Four.
Because he would have lightning lag and stuff like that.
Like tons of it. And if it was melee, I feel like he'd also have a lot of landing lag,
Hmm.
or even Project M if we want to talk about that too. But yeah. Point is, yeah, it would be more lag. So I think this is the least lag I've seen air dodge since Brawl, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, so I think we'll get a lot of use out of this. We'll get used to it. Like I think, and that as a big thing, we just gotta get used to it first, and then
Definitely need to test it out, and everybody needs to find some good, solid utilities for it, and really be able to adapt play around it.
okay. So I see this question here, and it's been nagging at me. So I'll go ahead and ask you. Um, are anything that you're worried about from seeing all this so far?
Mm, bad
Besides
things.
Snake and Rage, you said that before. Snake and Rage.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about that, to be honest with you. I'm probably going to play him if that's the case, so it's not really a concern for me personally, but it is a concern for the health of the game.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it, to be honest with you. There's nothing like, and this might sound kind of weird, but there's nothing bad that I have seen of this game yet
Hmm.
that Smash 4 did not already have.
That's true.
So in other words, it's for me personally, it looks like it's a straight upgrade entirely from Smash 4 in terms of competitiveness. Like there hasn't been a single thing I've seen that makes me go, "Oh, this is even worse than 4." This has pretty much been 100% an upgrade from Smash 4 for me. Whereas when I saw Smash 4, when I saw the Smash 4 stuff from coming from Brawl, there was a lot of things I saw that I didn't like with Rage and trumping. And the regrab timer, I was kind of on the fence about. And still to this day, I feel like I have less options, but I get why they took it out because, chain grabs. So it's like,
Hmm.
okay. But there were some things that were detracting from it. But with this, it looks like it's straight up just an upgrade. Like everything good about 4 and a little bit more and very little and a little bit less of the stuff we didn't like, specifically with Rage,
Hmm.
which is really cool, and then more damage, just a lot of cool stuff that I really like. Being able to kill without needing Rage, pretty big deal. So yeah, overall, I'm looking forward to it. We'll see. I want to see more stuff about it. I'm looking forward to playing the game. Definitely, like I said though, want to see more stuff. Want to know more about the game. So I'm gonna be looking forward to the future months. Hopefully, we get some new
Get zero.
information. Yeah, a little. He's like, yeah, I won that, popping off a little bit.
But yeah,
I,
I feel the same way too. Um, a lot of people are making a joke that this is Smash 4.5. I think
oh yeah, yeah.
I think that's actually
It's
the wrong thing to call
it's
it.
pretty similar, but it does feel like a pretty good step up, honestly. The playstyle, I think, is going to be a little different. This engine seems similar, but the playstyles we're going to see are probably going to be very different, I think. But, for now, it's all speculation. We'll see what happens when the game gets its official release. But for now, I've got some pretty good, pretty high hopes for it, I'd say.
Yeah, to me, this feels more like they're taking everything good from like a little bit of melee, a little bit
A
of
little bit of
brawl,
brawl, yeah, a
mix
little
it
bit of
in
the good
with
from Smash.
what Smash Four had, and then make it Smash Ultimate, more or less.
Yeah, pretty much. That's like exactly how I feel about it. You got the glide toss and brawl, directional air dodging from melee. So pretty cool. Gonna be pretty fantastic.
There is. I
We'll
just
see
thought.
how it
I just
is.
thought this. There is one thing that I wish that they brought in from Melee, but I don't find it to be a detriment. It's just different. Um, I do wish that they brought back aerial momentum or just momentum in general from Melee,
Okay.
where you can just dash and then you jump and then your airspeed is like a lot faster than you would just walking.
Yeah.
I do wish that they did brought that back, but I understand why it didn't. It's kind of confusing, I guess, for newer players, and plus the game in general is just much floatier. Like
Right.
it's still very floaty in comparison to melee. So air momentums will still be kind of weird to program. So I understand that. Still, it would have been cool.
Anyway, this has been pretty fun. Pretty fun podcast. Great talking to you about all this stuff.
Mhm.
But I think we gotta kind of wrap it up a little bit.
Yeah,
But
we do need that.
yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. If there's anything to go by, closing thoughts. Looking forward to. Looks fantastic. Like visually and competitively, it's looking pretty good. So
Yeah,
looking
I
forward to
feel
it.
about the same way. For my closing thoughts, um, at first it wasn't hyped, but after seeing the Invitational, I'm like really hyped. This is like the only game that I'm actually been hyped for I want to say for a very long time. This is on the top of my list of games to buy, so it's basically going to be a day one buy for me. Um,
Yeah, same here.
Everything looks good. I It's very hard to see anything bad right now. It's very hard. Um, the rest is just nitpicks, like really minor nitpicks that doesn't really actually affect anything. So we still haven't got the game in our hands. There's still 6 months. There's still more reports coming through. We'll see what happens. Um, as for the podcast itself, um, I want to try to make this monthly until the game comes out, and then we'll make changes then. Um, as far as what we're going to talk about, there probably won't be a ton of news that we can talk about. So we'll probably just do like some more thoughts on Smash Ultimate, and also speak more about the past games. Well, I'll think of subjects to talk about. But
Yeah, sounds good. Definitely when we get more information, we'll have more to talk about too. But let's try to make it maybe one Saturday a month if we can.
yeah, one
Maybe
Saturday.
do 2 hours or so and talk about it. Thoughts on new information, anything that could influence the game in the future. Definitely something to look forward to, though.
Yeah, that's all we're saying. We're excited for it. We're gonna look forward to this game to be a day one buy.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and head out. But yeah, thanks for having me. The young SNM.
S&M.
See you later.
I'm gonna keep that one, by the way. We're gonna keep that.